This episode of the Grappler Union podcast is brought to you by BJJTees. Go to bjjtees.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjtees.com today. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Grappler Union podcast. Paul Maloney alongside Anthony Zito. On this episode, we have Larry Lindenman in studio. Larry's a black belt under Carlson Gracie Jr. He's an instructor at Carlson Gracie Aurora, and he's the training coordinator at the Range 355. Enjoy.
It ain't the 6 minutes. It's what happens in that 6 minutes.
You told me using any technique that works, never to limit myself to one style. Keep an open mind.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
In order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better and strategize your life.
All right, yeah. So, Larry.
Yes.
Pleasure meeting you.
Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah. So Larry walks into the studio here. He's like, wow, Tom Callas? Is that
Callas, yeah.
Callas. He's like, yeah, you have Tom Callas's artwork there. I'm like, yes, I do. He's like, yeah, you told me more about the artwork than I actually knew. I thought funny. Tom Callas was just some guy who made this really cool artwork.
Yeah.
But he's like more than just like an artist.
So Tom's been involved in martial arts forever, right? I've been in martial arts since the 1970s.
Wow.
Taught at Degerberg Academy, downtown Chicago in the 80s. So I've been around forever. Tom's been around, same thing, old dude, been around forever.
Yeah.
He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt.
Yeah.
And his stepson is Keenan Cornelius. You probably heard of him, right?
I think I heard of him.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So when all that stuff was going down, with Lloyd, he was the guy who was kind of very vocal about getting Keenan out of there, him and Keenan's sister. And he was there when Keenan got promoted to black belt at, with Atos. So, yeah, he's been involved in the community. And the other thing about him, which is really, really interesting, is that he was actually BJ Penn's first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, way back in the day. And the thing that I really like about Tom, really nice guy, but this dude got a spiral fracture of his femur right by his hip. I don't know if I'm getting that right, but it was bad. I mean, it was really bad. Saw the X-rays, and he was training for Masters Worlds 2 years ago. Ended up having to have hip replacement. They ended up putting a new ball, in. And he competed last year at Masters Worlds. I know. Are both of you guys going? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great tournament.
Yeah, I'm
It
excited.
was a great tournament.
Yeah.
It was actually my favorite tournament I ever did.
Really?
Yeah.
You going this year?
I'm not. I'm not. I had a shoulder injury. Well, actually, I have arthritis, and it got really bad.
Okay.
I ended up doing PT on it, and it's fine now. But not fine, but as good as it's going to get.
Of course.
And I just couldn't train the way I wanted to to get ready. But I'll do it next year for sure.
So what would you be? Master what?
Master 5.
5? Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Where's the top out at?
6.
6? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm 54 years old.
Okay.
Going to be 55 years old.
Yeah.
So
What's Anthony Bourdain? He has to be Master 6, right?
I think it's 55 and up. Yeah, he's got to be Master 6.
got it.
Yeah. Master 6, right.
Yeah.
I'll be there soon.
Yeah.
I'm Masters 3 right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
There you go. Slowly working your way up there.
So how many people would be in your division at Masters 5?
There's a lot. There's maybe 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So Masters Worlds that's one of the reasons why it's not that I don't compete anymore. It's really hard as you start moving up. So
because you're a black belt.
Black belt now.
Right,
yeah. In November I was promoted.
Great.
By Carlson. So, but when I tried to compete in Chicago, there's nobody even close to my age, as a brown belt. Right. And so I got to drop down three groups, and then I had to move up 2 weight classes. The last time I competed, I did okay, but still it was pain in the butt.
Yeah,
of course.
So, but Masters Worlds it's freaking awesome. You're gonna have a great time there.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do it.
You're gonna have a great time there.
At the Open, I don't have like Chicago Open is we're competing in about a week.
Yeah.
This will come out after the Open, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there's no one right now in my division for gi.
Yeah.
And so there's one guy that's Masters 3, one weight class. He's rooster weight.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that he kind of like just comes up the light
Comes
feather.
up, sure.
I think that would make sense. So we
Yeah.
both have a match.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to drop 10 pounds in a
no
week.
way.
It's silly.
Yeah.
But him to come up would make sense to me.
Yeah.
So hopefully he does. This way we have a match because I don't want to go there and just get a gold medal.
Yeah.
I really don't want
Yeah.
that.
I
It's
don't even like taking them.
I don't like taking.
I mean, what
it.
happens if he doesn't, change his registration? Will the IBJJF like ask him to do it?
I don't know.
Do you guys
Nah.
need to reach out and have a discussion amongst the two of you and just say like, hey, let's meet here?
I mean, I guess I
You
could
could,
try
you
to
could
him
probably
up.
reach out to him because
could
he
probably.
he could change it.
Yeah.
But IBJJF won't do it.
They won't. They'll just give you a medal, say, here you go. And then, but I qualify for absolute.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. So he qualified for
Gonna
absolute.
do the absolute seat up?
I mean, if I don't get a match,
Yeah.
I would consider, and there is super heavy and heavy in my
Yeah.
division, but I don't know.
You never know too, because you might be matched up with somebody as close to your weight, and they might knock each other out. I mean,
It's true.
yeah. So you don't know, but it's it's as you get older, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's no joke, man. Masters Worlds, I'm warming up on the mats, and I look over, and Sanji is right next to me, and then Lovato is rolling out right next to him. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, it's
This is serious shit.
yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah, it was. I mean, of course, Megaton is there.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Howder was there coaching. There's Gaval was there. It's not like you don't go in there and you go, nobody is a Masters athlete. Nobody's over 35 that trains jiu-jitsu that says, hey, you know what? I'm just going to enter a tournament and lose. I'm going to let some dude kick my butt.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Man.
Now everyone
So-
wants it. Everyone wants that
And fly
world
across the
championship.
country to fight too.
And exactly.
Or across the world.
Right.
The world, right?
Yeah, last year I had a dude from England in my bracket.
I think I've got the guy from Canada is in my bracket. He's the one who won last year.
Oh, he's world champion.
yeah. And there's a guy from Japan. I think they're Brazil. There's like they're all over the world.
Yeah.
These guys aren't flying.
Yeah. To lose.
To lose, right?
Yeah. It's just laid out for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna
Holy
have to fight.
shit.
I'm fighting these guys. It's not like So,
Maybe
it's
they're coming to
that.
Vegas for the McGregor fight. And they're just like, I'm already
Well,
there.
I'm there.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be cool, man. I mean, plus you're in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know? So it worked out good for me because I ended up, I think I was day 2.
Mm-hmm.
I went.
Yeah.
And I was done.
I'm not happy about it. I'm going, we're flying out Wednesday
Evening.
and I'm not fighting till Saturday.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
it
lie to you.
sucks. And
That's
then you're
really
coming back Sunday, right?
You're going to
Yeah.
put me in Vegas
Yeah.
and tell me not to drink a couple
Yeah.
of beers for
Yeah.
4 days?
Yeah, I know.
That's going to be, that's not
Are
right.
you going to be on weight though?
Oh yeah, I'm on.
So you're
yeah.
You can have a couple of
I
beers.
just, that's true. I just don't want to feel
relax.
like shit.
Yeah,
That's true. Larry, what happened to the black eye? How'd you get that?
I was working with one of the students and we were rolling and he was aggressive, he'd wipe out and he's good. I mean, he's really good.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Beat me right in the eye, baby.
Happens to the best of them.
Hey, what's funny is that this is 6 weeks of not working out. So,
What?
yeah.
He hit you hard.
Well, I was rolling. It's funny because I was rolling Thursday morning, and last roll, and as I'm rolling with this guy, I see this little black fuzz in my eye, in my vision. I'm like rubbing my eye, and I'm like, "What is that thing?" And it didn't go away. So I went to the bathroom. I'm looking. I can't see anything. And one of the guys, Quentin Park, that we train with, he's a optometrist.
Okay.
So I said, "Hey, dude, I'm seeing this black." He's like, "What?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm seeing this black thing." He goes, "That's bad." I go, "Well, when you say bad, what do you mean bad?" He goes, "You need to get into a doctor right now." I go, "Right now?" He goes, "Yeah." So I call up. I ended up going to an optometrist or ophthalmologist, and she does the exam, and she goes, "Okay, you don't have a detached retina, which is really good."
Yeah.
She goes, "But you can't train for 6 weeks." And I go, What do you mean by train for 6 weeks? What does that mean? And she said, well, you can't run. You can't lift weights. I go, So I can't do jujitsu. She's like, oh no, yeah, you definitely can't do jujitsu.
Worst. I hate when they say that.
So now I'm like negotiating with myself. Well, when she said jujitsu, what does she mean? Can I drill?
Well, what? I mean, you can't run. I mean,
Because they don't want you
the
moving
impact?
up and down.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The impact of it?
Yeah,
So
impacting your head because you could detach the retina.
is it that? It was that close?
Yeah.
How hard did he hit you?
It was pretty hard. I saw stars for sure.
Really?
Yeah. And I've had that happen before. I had stitches under my eye, and from getting kneed by a wrestler, and it never had that, but for whatever reason, so I still see it. Like I'm looking out here, and I see this black thing floating around.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, is that going to go away?
Yeah, they said they say it doesn't actually go away, but your brain gets used to it and just erases it.
Really?
Oh.
That's cool.
Awesome.
That's
huh?
crazy. Your brain gets used to it. It's like, ignore that.
Ignore
now.
that. Ignore that big floating.
What
thing.
else could your brain ignore?
Yeah.
Right?
Figure it out.
Man, that's something.
So
I bet he felt bad though.
he felt really bad. As a matter of fact, he felt so bad that he used to have like curly hair, and he put rubber bands in his hair.
Oh, really?
Just went crew cut.
Oh, did he?
I think he got religion. No, no, he's a great kid. He's a younger guy. He's a great kid, and he felt really bad.
Now, Quentin, he actually hit me up. He DMs me every now and then.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I don't think I've ever met Quentin. Like,
Yeah.
But he always DMs me. He's like, hey, you should have this guy. Oh, you should hit that guy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I think I'll give him
He's
a
a
Paul.
great dude. He's a hard worker, man.
Yeah. It's cool because I'm like, I got to give it to Paul because Paul books all the guests. And I'm like, yeah, no problem, man. It sounds really good. And I'm like, Paul, here you go. And I just throw it over to Paul. But
what's my new title?
You are
Talent
coordinator, talent
coordinator, something like that.
Yeah. Fluffer.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that later, dude, because you didn't do a great job. I'm just saying.
Welcome to the studio.
I'm a little tense.
Come on in, have a seat.
Oh, that's great. I like that one better. Fluffer.
Fuck you guys, man.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
So, Larry, martial arts since the 70s, huh?
Yeah.
So, what else did you train?
Yeah, so I trained Taekwondo as every kid did. And then I was really fortunate to meet a guy named Dan Inosano. And I trained with Dan. I've been an instructor under him forever. And so he was Bruce Lee's probably top student. He's now a black belt in jiu-jitsu with Machado. Yeah. And so I trained Kali, Filipino Kali, a little bit of shoot back in the day, Thai boxing, boxing, wrestling, just kind of the
JKD system?
The JKD system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was maybe the second instructor in JKD in the Midwest.
Really?
Yeah, in 1983 or whatever is when I did that. And
So I took JKD in the early 90s.
Oh, okay,
And
cool.
I was under in Berwyn.
Yeah.
They had, I think Pellegrini had a little
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I know.
Over on 26th Street,
Yeah.
26th and East Avenue.
Yeah.
So I started there.
Yeah.
And then Dion Ricardo.
Yeah.
So he took it over.
Yeah.
Well, they closed that school.
Yeah.
And I don't even know because I was very young when that I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But all I know is that it closed.
Yeah.
And Dion's like, we have to find our own place. So then we worked out across the street in the park.
Okay.
Like in the winter. Like
Yeah.
we're outside. Just a bunch of guys outside in this park across the street from our old school.
Yeah.
Like training. Oh, it's fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
Then we go to garages, and then finally Dion got his own place, and then
Yeah.
we did all that. But Paul Vunek would come to town.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Dion was a student of mine. I like Dion a lot. He's just a
So
really
he
gracious
was
guy.
so
yeah.
Dion, because I don't remember how Dion got into it. I was very young, so I started because
Yeah.
Dion's probably about 6-7 years older than me. I was the youngest at that time. I think
Okay.
in the adult class, you could say,
Yeah.
because Davey Gomez.
Yeah.
You know Dave Gomez, right?
Sure.
So I dated Dave Gomez's sister.
Oh, I thought you said you dated Dave.
Yeah,
Gomez.
no,
I'm
no,
like,
I
oh,
wish
I
His
didn't know
sister.
that.
No.
Yeah.
So his sister and I went to the same grammar school at the
Yeah.
time. And I started dating her, and I knew her brother, was like, into martial arts. And I'm like, oh, I love martial arts. And
Yeah.
So I spent the night at their house one night, and I had to sleep with Davey like downstairs. Couldn't be by my girlfriend, obviously. So, and I saw these Bruce Lee and, Taekwondo and all this JKD stuff and yin yang. I'm like, what are you into? And he's like, oh, come to class, check it out. And I was hooked. I was like, just so hooked. It was brutal. We'd do a lot of knife fighting in the alley. We did Kali, and I just loved that whole JKD system. I loved it.
So so Dion was a student of Ron Balicki.
Right.
So Ron Balicki was my student.
Okay.
So there's actually kind of a funny story behind it. Do you know who Ron Balicki is, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's married to Diana Inasano, so Dan's daughter. Very good friends, very dear friends of mine for a long time. But I was teaching at Degerberg Academy back in the mid '80s, and on Lincoln, Lawrence and Lincoln up there on the north side, and Ron was one of my students, and he started to do this kind of like, you ever see the TV show Kung Fu, where David Carradine is sitting outside so he started saying, hey, I want to take private lessons, and I'm like, I hate teaching private lessons because nobody ever actually trains it. They just, and I kind of resisted it. And he kept on coming at me. And finally I'm like, okay, I'll teach. And he turned out to be an awesome student, turned out to be a training partner. After, a couple months, he was so consistent, did such a great job. He became my training partner. And then he basically, at some point, he decided, you know what? We taught Dion for a pretty long time. Yeah. And then Dion sort of hooked up with Vunak.
Right.
I think they had a falling out, and they're fine now. But back in the day, they had a falling out. Ron decided he was going to move to California. Ends up moving to California, teaching at the Inasano Academy, and marrying Diana, and doing movies, and he travels all over the world teaching. So it was really kind of interesting. But that's sort of a little of the history there. But
so when Dion, because it's so hard for me to remember. I was so young at that time. In the 90s, we started training jiu-jitsu at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't remember, how that was. I just remember, this is going back to 1994, right?
Yeah.
It's a long time. And I'm trying to remember, how it wasn't. I just remember coming to class and we're doing this jiu-jitsu thing now. And I'm like, all right, so we got to buy it. We bought, what we thought was a gi, but it's not a gi. It was a judo, whatever. And I remember just starting to train jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And I didn't like it because it was just get smashed, and I didn't really I was little, really little, and I was like, this is not for me. But I'd go through the motions. So where did Dion, because I don't even know, how did Dion start learning jiu-jitsu?
So
where did that all come about?
So it's actually kind of interesting. It's actually kind of a topic of discussion because back in the day, before jiu-jitsu, before MMA, we didn't know what was effective and what wasn't. I mean, nobody knew. It's because you never tested it. Right. You weren't working under pressure. You weren't working under resistance like jiu-jitsu does, like boxing, like Thai boxing, like MMA. So you prove yourself every day in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
In some of these arts, you just never.
Right.
You never went full contact against a resisting human being that wanted to kick your ass. No. You never did that. So you didn't know. So martial arts were more like LARPing, like live action, It's like, hey, we have a sword, let's play. I mean,
right. We used to put a helmet on.
Yeah.
And we used to go, Jitsu Choi on the helmet.
Absolutely.
Or some guys would actually.
Absolutely.
The headbutt, like that,
Yeah. But it wasn't part of the training process.
Watermelons. It's like, is this what it would simulate me headbutting someone?
Yeah.
A watermelon. I'm like, I'm not fucking hitting a watermelon on my head.
Why not, dude?
I don't know. I just wasn't into that thing. But they would do they would try to figure out ways that would simulate what it would actually be without actually. Yeah. But then Dion, he used to go out, and I was young, but they would go to bars. Yeah. And they'd start some shit.
Yeah. And he's not like that. I know he's not like that anymore. Clearly not like that
anymore. Dion is 100% changed. But the way I knew Dion.
I'll go through that stuff.
Of course. But when I knew Dion, he was he was scared. He would scare the shit out of me. Yeah. And he was my instructor. And I'd be like, I don't want to look at him wrong because he might just fuck me up.
That's funny.
Luckily, I had Davey to shield me and protect me. You can't fuck with Anthony because he's a little kid and he's dating my sister. So I always had Davey my, had my back. But Dion at that time in the early 90s, scary dude.
Yeah. Isn't that just a rite of passage in Cicero? Knife fighting in the alleys and maybe bar fights.
Yeah. So Vunak was a started grappling. You know, the JKD kind of the JKD. And, you know, I hate to even use the term JKD because really there's only two people that can teach JKD: is John Fine Martial Arts or, you know, Kali, or that philosophy was research your own experience, absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, make everything uniquely your own. So with that kind of like 60s hippie vibe, you know, where hey, let's try different things. That was sort of Bruce's jam. You know, that's what he did, and that's what Inosanto sort of taught. And so they were open to anything. You know, they had a grappler, Larry Hartzell, had since passed away, but he was a pretty badass grappler. Wasn't Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu by any means, but he was a good kind of catch wrestler. And you know, Eric Paulson, Greg Nelson, you know, a lot of these guys were coming up at that time. Shoot came into you know, Yuri Nakamura was out in California, was teaching those guys shoot. So all this stuff was starting to coalesce at the time. Vunak, I guess there's a funny story. I think Vunak and I think it's Machado where Vunak was saying that he could just poke his eyes out or whatever, and Machado's like, okay, go ahead. And he took him down and choked the shit out of him. And Vunak's trying to get, you know,
That's
but he can't do it.
hilarious.
I think he put him out. So, so just validated that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is,
Right.
you know, I mean, there's nothing like working against a live resisting human being. And so, it's kind of an interesting aside to that is that right in those 90s, there was a big split in the JKD community between guys, well, specifically SBG. So, you know, Straight Blast Jim, Matt Thornton, he was basically pushing the sport arts, you know, jiu-jitsu, Thai boxing, before MMA really became popular. He was sort of saying, hey, these arts, working against resistance, the training method of these arts is far superior to the training method of basically doing patty cake or doing. And there were huge wars about it, and people were arguing about it left and right, and you know, and now look where SBG is, you know, and putting a plug out. I just talked to my buddy Paul Sharp. He's a black belt in the SBG system. He's opening up in Elgin. He's opening up in September. Oh, yeah. SBG Illinois, first SBG school in Illinois. So great dude, great black belt. Under Chris Howder, not a ton of Chris Howder black belts, you know, throughout the U.S. But
How many schools does SBG have?
I don't know.
Roughly.
But they're worldwide. I mean, they're pretty big, and they do like Adam Singer. You know, they have big names. You know, Paul was training with.
Well, I mean, McGregor is that
McGregor. Yeah. Paul was training with Couture and Munson and all those dudes back in the day. So, you know, SBG was pretty badass back in the day. But they came from that JKD. You know, Greg Nelson, who's up in Minnesota. You know, he's a BJJ black belt, great, you know, just badass, you know, badass competitor, D1 wrestler, badass Thai boxer, and he came from that Inosanto system or that family. So there's a lot of growth. From
Vunak started because we were PFS.
That's
Progressive
right.
Fighting Systems of Chicago. So that's what
Yep.
we branched off into that after that Berwyn Academy closed, which I don't even remember the name of that academy before PFS. But
yeah, I think I remember where it was. Wasn't the dude like the guy who owned it was a karate dude, and he was a Berwyn cop?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I know him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I trained in that school.
It's on 26th and
I
East Avenue.
I didn't train there, but I taught there a couple times.
Okay.
I took a seminar there from a Filipino dude one time. So.
Yeah.
Dude, didn't one of your teammates get into a fight with like a gang member, and then they rolled through with like the whole gang and like attacked the gym and shit?
Yeah, that's when we were still in between schools, and we were at St. Maria Czestochowa is like they have like this like I guess it's like a youth center. Yeah. And we would train out of the youth center.
Did you just say youth center?
Yeah, I did. The two youths. I was watching my cousin Vinny the other day. So we would train out of there. We were in a big basketball gym. We just sit there and we were training Kali. So we all had our sticks. So we're just, we're doing, and then a couple of nights prior to this, I think I told this on the podcast before, didn't I?
Yeah, but it's been a while. I want to hear it again.
Yeah. So we were young, man, and stupid. And so one of our guys jumped this gangbanger. This is in Cicero, right? So there's a gangbanger, they're talking, and two of our guys jumped them a couple nights before this big ordeal happened, and they beat him up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, he goes tells his buddies, hey, these bunch of these guys beat me up. This is where they train at. They're working out there, whatever they're doing. So we were training Collie, and one of our guys came in and said, hey, there's a bunch of guys looking at our cars outside. So, like, we all go out there. Well, we don't have shirts on. We're just, in sweats and gym shoes and got a bunch of Collie sticks, right?
Yeah.
So there's like 8 of them out there looking at our cars. So 8 of our guys go out there and start fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, this is fucking crazy. I was, still, I'm the youngest.
Gangs in New York going off right in front of you.
Right. So I'm there. Davey, who was a Cook County sheriff at the time.
Yeah.
He's there next to me. Dion is behind me somewhere, just facilitating, just watching our guys beat these other guys up.
Yeah.
Because they're, and then in the shadows of the gangways, it starts pouring out more people. Like legit. And they go to a car. Open up the trunk of the car.
Big Trouble in Little China or something.
Open up the trunk of the car and they start grabbing stuff.
Yeah.
Pipes. This guy grabbed an axe. So Davey sees this, hands me his 357 Python, loaded, hands it to me, says, hold this, goes out there with his Collie stick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holding this guy's, I never held a gun before.
He saw an axe and said, hold my gun, and went out there with a fucking wooden stick.
That might be a judgment error.
No shit.
Right. I didn't understand it either. I didn't. Everything was happening so fast. I'm just like, okay, I'm holding this gun.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
I have
funny.
no shirt on. And I'm little. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm fucking like 16, 17 years old maybe.
Man.
And this guy who I knew, like personally, like this guy that was coming at me with his axe,
Yeah.
was like, lived on my block.
He was coming after you?
Directly at me, running at me, full clip.
Yeah.
With an axe.
Wow.
From across the street.
Why-
You're not going to confess to a homicide now, are you?
Right.
Why you out of like all the guys?
I don't know. I think he was just
Small guy.
He was
just go after the naked small guy.
Go
I
after
think
the small dude. Shit, he's got a gun.
right. I think that guy was a little loopy. He was a little like
He lived on your block?
He lived on my block.
Yeah.
His whole family lived on my block.
I'm sure he lives in Stateville right now.
Probably.
Dude, maybe that guy wanted to like kill you for a while.
Well,
and he's like, here's my chance.
Finally.
Maybe. I don't know, man. But
I wanted to date Davey's sister.
so he's coming at me, and I'm just frozen. I'm like, oh shit. Dion grabs my skin, my back skin, and pulls me inside the door. The axe goes through the window, like he hits the window behind me, and there's glass all over, like just all over my back. Everywhere I turned around, everyone's gone. Like that's how. I'm sure it didn't happen, like because this is like 20 something years ago. But I just remember turn around, and it's just nothing's happening. I'm like, like everything just went silent, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's just craziness.
That's funny.
And then we all go back inside. Police start coming, and one of our guys is left out there. We left Randy out there.
Yeah.
My buddy
Randy.
So Randy's getting his ass kicked in the corner by like 3 or 4 guys. All he has is a stick, and he's just trying to like beat him off, and they're just like kicking at him and fighting. And we didn't know he was out there. He's like, "Fucking assholes, leave me out there." We're like, sorry, dude. It was just like craziness.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was fucking nuts.
Yeah, that
and we
was
didn't train
nuts.
there anymore. I don't think after that.
That's
We
funny.
found
That's
another-
probably a clue.
We found another place to go train. But
Did you ever run into Steve Cologne? Because I know he trained with Dion.
what year did he train?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Because he trained with Dion back in the day, I guess. And then you know
Like
do you know
Marcus
who he
Charles?
is
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Marcus Charles is one of the guys that we train with.
Yeah.
The 2 twins, Gabe, Ruiz, and then there was Big Gabe and Little Gabe.
Okay.
There's so many guys. Randy.
Yeah.
Jeremy. I don't remember all their last names.
Yeah,
but
Cologne was who trained with Dion, and now he has his own gym in Indiana, northern Indiana. He's a very successful MMA coach. Yeah. So I had a couple guys in the UFC, and
oh wow.
yeah.
So I'm getting back to like the
Hang on.
transitioning. I'm sorry.
I'm not done with this brawl yet. So this guy who throws an axe at you
Yes.
lives on your street?
Lives on my
Are you
block.
like, I got to see this guy like
I see-
tomorrow? You see
so-
him all the time.
I see him all the time.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. Like his whole family was known for being a little nutty, like crazy, like in and out of jail. They were like two boys and stuff like that.
What would you say? Like he lives on your butt.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Totally. That's how it would be.
I haven't seen you since you threw that axe at me.
I think the thing is,
not miss it next time.
And I don't know what this is, and I still don't know what He used to smoke wiki sticks. Is that a thing?
Sure.
Right? Does anyone know what that is? No, the wiki.
So that's a cigarette that's dipped in
PCP.
Is it embalming fluid or
PCP.
PCP? Right?
What's PCP?
That's what he
What's
would do.
the one dipped in embalming fluid?
I thought that was.
I think that's what it is, but
That's
I think when they say embalming fluid, I think they really mean PCP.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what he would be on. So that's why when he was coming at me, he didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Oh.
He was just out of it, like just whacked out.
Wow.
So when I would see him during the day or whatever, he'd be like a normal weirdo.
Fine. Right.
But he'd be like, hey, what's up, man? He don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
You know? That's the neighborhood I grew up in, man. It's fucking weird.
Nice.
Don't smoke wiki sticks.
No.
Apparently.
No, kids.
That would
Stay away.
that'd be the drug message of the day.
Yes. So that's why he didn't know. And yeah, he lived on my block, and it's just weird, man. So weird. It's a weird time. And we didn't have cell phones back then. It wasn't like, like nowadays it's totally different. Like you can look on an app and be like, who are the crazy people in your area? Yeah. Like that app where it's like find the pedophile that like live in your area.
Right.
Like locate that person.
Yeah.
You could have that. We didn't have that. It'd be nice if we did like, stay away from that fucking guy. Stay away from that guy.
Right.
No, we didn't have
So
that
you
stuff.
had the python in your hand though, right?
I had
Were
it in
you
my
like
hand.
you saw the dude running at you with an axe? Where you're like, oh shit! Like
I froze, man.
Yeah.
Dion grabbed me.
Right.
And saved me. And then I had to give the gun back to Davey when the police showed up because then Dave runs out there with his gun and his badge to explain to the police officer that he's a Cook County sheriff.
Right.
Like he's out there,
Yeah.
But he didn't do that prior. So weird, right? He wanted to fight. So weird. I don't think he could literally I don't think he could start a fight, but I don't know, man. It was a gray area, dude. It's weird. Like
That
he
is
didn't
weird.
go out there with freeze, you guys are under arrest.
Yeah,
No, because he was a Cook County sheriff.
He wanted to throw down.
So I was a state cop for 26 and a half years. And I ended up, after I retired from state police, I moved over to Cook County as a detective for 2 years.
Okay.
It sucked.
Did it?
And the correctional guys, they really shouldn't be involved in street stuff.
Right.
They just shouldn't be involved in street stuff.
Right, exactly.
Back in the day maybe, but now you don't want to
want
get
those
involved
guys.
in that
Right.
stuff. Yeah, you don't want to get involved in that stuff. So hey, why not beat the guy with a stick? That'd
Right,
probably
exactly.
be better than shooting him with your python.
357 Python.
Yeah.
The thing was huge. Huge.
That's really funny.
It's crazy. But okay, are you done with that story?
done.
You're
Thank
good?
you.
All the questions
I'm
answered?
satisfied.
I got closure.
Satisfied.
So when we transitioned into jiu-jitsu back in those days, do you remember how that happened? Like how did Dion, because I don't remember Dion ever leaving us to go train jiu-jitsu.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Okay.
I know that Dion, obviously Vunak.
Right.
I think Vunak started training jiu-jitsu after that experience. I don't think he continued it, but I think he started training it, and I think his guys started getting interested in it. One of his guys was this guy Cecil Bursch, one of my best friends. He's a megaton black belt. He's down in Phoenix, and he was in the group at that time. And so I think Dion got ranking from Megaton and a couple other people. So
McVicker maybe also.
Maybe Mick Vicker. Yeah, Mick Vicker was a JKD guy back in the day. So
when I see Mick Vicker at tournaments, he's so familiar to me. Like when I look at him,
mentioned that to me.
I see him. I'm like,
he was a JKD guy.
Maybe he was around the era when I was younger. I look at him. I'm like, that guy looks so familiar.
Yeah, I know he was.
Yeah. So I probably at some point crossed paths with him when I was younger.
Yep.
And I was like, man, he looks like.
Yeah, that's part of what it is.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just so interesting. Like that whole how it all came about. I feel like it's living through it, looking retrospectively, looking back at it, and just it's like watching Apple, getting I remember when Apple started coming out with all these products, and then they went under, and then they come back, and then the resurgence of Apple. I lived through a little bit of that.
That green computer, remember the green one?
Yeah.
Exactly. So the Tandy came out, and I think back at the jiu-jitsu, I'm like, man, if I would just invest a little bit more time in that jiu-jitsu stuff and put the collie sticks down a little bit longer,
you think about that.
I'd have been a little bit better off probably.
Me too.
But I loved Kali. I loved Kali. I loved Thai boxing. I loved Wing Chun.
Yeah.
I loved knife fighting. I liked it so much more than just getting smashed on the ground at that time.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be on the ground.
Yeah.
We had this guy, his name was Slim, but he was not Slim.
Yeah, of course.
He was
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Slim. But
Ryan Salisbury.
He's like, he's exactly like Ryan. I mean,
Sorry,
I was
Ryan.
I'm like, and I'd have to work out with him. I'm like, I don't want this guy on top.
Yeah.
It was heavy. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. What am I doing? Can I get off the ground now? And
So how'd you get back into jiu-jitsu?
one of my friends, Gus, he started doing 10th Planet. And at the time, a couple of years, about almost 3 years now, I was just like, I don't know. I was just like in a rut. Like I had my company going really well, and I always loved martial arts. And
Yeah.
I had a little resurgence back in 2007 doing some Kali with Gus's younger brother, who I started teaching JKD and Kali and stuff like that. I think it was like 2000. I got a press instructorship in JKD in like 99.
Okay, through who?
Through Dion.
Oh, Dion. Okay.
So after that, I would just kind of I still trained until 2000, 2001 maybe.
Yeah.
That's when I started. When I started my company,
Yeah.
then I kind of put all martial arts aside
Back
and
to
focused
town.
on building my company. And then 2007, Anthony at the time, Calderon, I introduced him to Dion, and talk about natural. This kid is a natural martial arts. Like you've trained a lot of students, and there's just some people that have to work at it.
Yep.
And there's some people that they just get it.
Yeah.
Like their body just moves that way.
Yeah.
And and that was Anthony. Anthony just took to it like, like a fish to water. He just moved. He moves very well, understands, and he's fantastic. And I was like, wow, stay with Dion. You're doing great. I don't need to teach you anything. He's going to take you so much further, which he did. He also went out to Vunak, and he spent a couple weeks with Vunak, which was eye opening for him.
Came back to change, man.
I mean, Vunak is like
he's crazy.
if you don't, Paul doesn't know Vunak, but Vunak is he's an interesting character.
Yeah, he's a character.
He's a character, but he's a little out there.
Yeah,
kind of like a Mike Rose like situation.
Right, I gotcha.
Okay. So, and then Gus started training jiu-jitsu because of Anthony.
Yeah.
I think he started doing 10th Planet, right? And then I was like talking to him, he's like, hey, you should come check out, because I started listening to Joe Rogan podcast like everybody. Joe Rogan's, his podcast is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Eddie Bravo, I've heard of him, and didn't really know much about the system. And I'm like, I loved martial arts back in the day.
Yeah.
I tried doing Kali with Anthony. We went to a Dan and Asama seminar.
Yeah.
In Indiana,
Interesting.
right? Went to that Indiana seminar. I think it was 2011, 2010, something like that.
Okay.
And I did that. It was like a 2 or 3 day seminar, and I could not lift my shoulders.
Yeah, afterwards. Yeah.
Like my mind remembered everything.
Yeah.
But my body did not.
Yeah.
So I was like doing a lot of Kali. We're doing some we're doing all this great stuff, C-Lot and all this. And I'm just like, yeah, this is great. I love it. And then my body's like, no.
Yeah.
I couldn't drive home. Like I couldn't lift my arms up.
That's funny.
That's how bad it was because I just was out of shape.
Yeah.
Couldn't
I
put
was
your
like-
arm up on the top of the steering wheel with
No,
like that
I was in pain.
gangsta lean.
No, I was in pain. My shoulders were in so much pain after that seminar, but I loved it a lot. And so I was like, maybe I just can't do it anymore. This Kali, because I just couldn't. I thought my body just couldn't do it anymore. So Gus is like, why don't you try jiu-jitsu again? I'm like, I didn't like it back in the 90s. I don't know. Maybe this no-gi is different. you know? So I tried it, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Here we are.
So no-gi, I love no-gi a lot.
Yeah.
And then when we started doing this podcast, we started meeting people who did gi, obviously, right? And they're like, oh, you got to train the gi. I'm like, yeah, okay. So Paul and I said, yeah, we should probably train the gi.
Yeah.
And I put the gi on, and a lot of those feelings came back initially. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I
feeling
feel
constrained.
like you're
Yeah.
constrained. You feel
Yeah.
like you're, that like claustrophobic feeling.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never felt that way too much in the no gi as much as I do in the gi.
Yeah.
And it's
You
just a
can't
matter
really
of,
slither out of stuff. Like
right. Yeah. So someone mounts me in no gi, it's like, whatever, dude. I just,
Yeah.
get out of it. But someone mounts you in gi,
Yeah.
you ain't getting out.
Yeah.
It's a different game, especially like Andre, I still have to tap when he mounts me. I can't, like, he puts it, I don't know what
Yeah,
he does.
distributes his weight. And
It's
just
like, oh,
takes
okay,
your breath
I'm not
away,
getting you
yeah.
off me. There's nothing I can do to get you off me at all, other
Yeah.
than tap. There's no way. I
Yeah.
just can't move at all.
I
So-
love gi.
Yeah.
I love it.
Which now I'm past that
Yeah.
phase, of the initial probably 3 months, 4 months in.
Yeah.
I was like,
my
but
fingers hurt.
my fingers
Yeah,
hurt. I was
right,
like,
right.
but now we've been I don't know how long, since January, but now I love it. Now it's like,
Yeah.
it's like that first, like when you first do jiu-jitsu, I say 3 months. Give it 3 months. Anyone who's new to jiu-jitsu, 3 months in, then the light bulb starts to come on.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I see what all this
Yeah,
does.
don't quit before then.
No. If you take a 2 week, if you they do those Groupons like, oh, we'll give you a first free 3 classes for free.
Yeah.
That's great and all, but 3 months is what you really need.
Yeah.
2 to 3 months, depending on, and you got to come at least twice a week for that 3 months.
Yeah.
To really start thinking to click it, and then
So
you'll love it.
You see that, and then you see that blue belt drop off, right? People get promoted to blue belt,
Yeah,
and
what's
all of
up
a
with
sudden
that?
you lose them. I think that it's such a long road.
Mm-hmm.
It's you spend so much time, and you finally get some sort of achievement,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think that now it feels like, hey, I achieved something. I did something in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
I got ranked. I got a belt. So I'm good. I'm there. I'm never going to make it to, a lot of people think I'm never going to make it a black belt. So I'm here. I achieved something. Now I could go and do something else.
Right.
I think also by the time we hit blue belt, a lot of the younger guys are starting to have families. Their jobs are getting in the way. And then I think, a lot of guys, they take an injury or they take some time off. And then in their mind, I think they're thinking, if I come back, that dude who I used to run all over, he's coming back at me and he's going to beat me.
100%.
I'll just wait a little bit. Yeah. And then that wait becomes forever.
Yeah.
So
For
I've
sure.
seen that happen a lot.
I've seen it, Paul.
Yeah.
And I, right, Paul? You've
Yeah.
seen some
Shit,
blue belts.
I did it myself.
Actually, he
Yeah.
did do it himself.
Did ya?
Yeah, I took 4
Yeah.
years off.
4 years.
Yeah.
That was a little break.
After
Yeah.
you got your blue belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like right after, but I
Yeah.
had a blue
Sure.
belt at the time, and
Yeah.
then bought a house, and then started
Yeah.
working a shit ton of overtime, and it was a job thing.
Yeah.
That and I don't know, early to mid 20s. It's like
Sure.
you kind of just want to party and chase tail, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything's coming together for you.
Right.
Career, and you
Yeah.
have to put your effort in there. And yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I mean, I'm glad I
Came back.
got back on the mats again.
Came back to the
Absolutely.
light side. Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely certainly something that I've seen. Once that people get that blue belt, that all of a sudden they're coming 3-4 times a week, and now they're coming like once.
Yeah.
Take a couple weeks off here and
Yeah.
there. And I don't know what to attribute that to. I don't know why that belt, because it's so difficult to get. They're like,
Yeah.
it's hard to get. So
And blue
take a
belt's
little
the most
vacation.
difficult belt.
Is it to get?
No. It's the
No.
most difficult
To
belt
get through.
to be. Because what happens is every white belt wants to prove themselves and say, hey, if I could tap this dude, I could get promoted.
Yeah.
And then everybody, all the purple belts are like, yeah, dude, you're not ready yet. And then the brown belts and black belts are going to run you over anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of like in that middle. Purple belt is dangerous.
Yeah.
A purple belt, you could tap a black belt.
Yeah. We've seen it in competitions.
Yeah, you
Sure.
could tap a black belt. At brown belt, you need to refine your game, but you're getting to that black belt level. But at blue belt, you're still kind of in that. I'm kind of a new guy, but
Right.
and that transition, I think. All the white belts go at you hard because they want to prove themselves, and all the purple belts and brown belts and black belts are still kicking your butt. So,
Right.
yeah,
That's where I'm at, Larry.
yeah.
I'm in.
Oh, you're blue belt now.
I'm
awesome.
a blue belt.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm getting my ass kicked a lot.
Yeah, but that's good.
Paul's doing a lot of it too.
That's good though, man. That's the way to be. That's,
It is.
You
I love
got to
it. I
enjoy
love
it now.
No, I love it. I mean, I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I really enjoy training. I love rolling with higher belts. I
Yeah.
also love rolling with white belts. It doesn't bother me if they tap me.
Yeah.
It really doesn't affect me. Just because I can learn from everyone. That's how
Yeah,
I see
that's
it.
totally right.
Everybody
Yeah.
I roll with is a learning
Yep.
experience.
Yep.
For myself
100%.
and understand the way their body moves
Yeah.
and all those movements together, because everyone moves differently.
Yeah.
The way I play my guard is different than the way Paul plays his guard.
Yep.
Everyone's game has got its own little
Yep.
twist to it. So it's like, oh, okay. I was at Vienna Brothers this weekend. I did the open mat, and I was rolling with Aaron. Aaron. Oh my god!
Yeah, he's a great
I'm
dude,
watching.
man.
I took a 5-minute rest, and I'm watching Aaron roll. And I'm just
Aaron
looking at him.
Brooks?
Yeah, Aaron Brooks. And I'm just watching him. I'm like, God damn, that kid is just like, you can just see how much time he puts into certain moves
Yeah.
by how smooth the transitions are
Yeah.
in between each move. Like he sets it up so slick, and then that setup goes bad, and he's transitioned to that next setup that I'm like, he's just trained that transition so often. And then he's like, yeah, man, he has this triangle that's slick, and it's nothing like, not a big secret. It's just, he goes to bump to sweep
the
you.
hip bump, and then he comes out.
With the triangle.
Yeah. Believe me, I've seen that a lot.
Right. So, but he's very efficient at it. He goes, it took me over 100 tries before I can get one of those.
Yeah.
And
Aaron
he
is,
just reps it.
I was there the first day Aaron took a class in jiu-jitsu.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I was in that class the first time he was there. I saw his first competition. He was wearing a rash guard with a tuxedo on the front.
Of course he was.
I'm like, what the fuck is this kid doing?
Fucking Aaron.
Dude, he's just, I can't compliment him enough because Aaron, and I've said this, I was interviewed on another, not a grappling podcast, but a different tactical type of thing podcast. And Aaron said, I mentioned Aaron, and I'll do it again. And he's not a natural athlete. You don't look at Aaron and you go, that guy's a badass. You don't look at him and go, this guy's going to kick your ass.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, dude, I can't be more proud. I mean, he's just such a great guy, and his skill level is, and it's all hard work. Mm-hmm. He's not, like you said the guy, it's funny because you said, oh yeah, the one dude you were talking about who's just a natural athlete.
Right.
And, those guys have a tendency to burn out.
Right.
Because they're good.
Right.
And the second that they meet a lot of resistance, the second that they meet people who are going to be better than them, they start to question themselves.
That's right.
But, a guy who's humble and who has to work hard, that guy, that guy's going to be a killer.
Yeah.
And Aaron's a killer, man. Yeah. He's a killer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's a great kid too. So not kid. He's a adult. I
young
mean, pretty
man.
much all you guys are kids to me. So
Right. Even me, Larry. Thanks, man.
Well,
Aaron's definitely a kid.
Yeah. He's a great dude.
Yeah. He's good.
So tactical training, what kind of tactical training do you do?
So, I was on SWAT for 9 years.
Nice.
And
In where?
it's state police.
State police?
Yeah, in
Illinois.
Illinois State Police.
Okay.
Yeah. And I taught, I kind of blended my martial arts with the SWAT. And then I started looking at it's kind of my story about jiu-jitsu too. It sort of blends into this. So I wrote the defensive tactics manual for the Illinois State Police, and it's all bullshit. When I look back on it, I'm like, oh god,
When did you write it?
that sucks. Probably mid '90s.
Okay.
Yeah. And
And they just keep using that same manual?
they
all these
probably
years?
still do. Yeah, they probably still do. And so I met a group of guys, and the first thing is that I realized that I had a deficiency in my ground game. I felt pretty good with stand up. I felt pretty good with boxing, and but my ground game, I mean, I didn't even understand that the hips had anything to do with grappling. I mean, it really did. Even like shoot boxing, we did these lock flows, but it was disassociated from live sparring, and there wasn't a Brazilian influence at the time, so you didn't really see this what Brazilian jiu-jitsu was. Right. So I started to seek out Brazilian jiu-jitsu schools, and found a Carlson school right near me and started training. The funny story with Steve Colon was that I actually took an MMA fight. I was still a white belt, but I felt I was pretty decent white belt. I mean, once you learn one thing well, it's easy to learn something else because you've already been through the process. You just have to retranslate it to another thing. So, if you're a good sculptor, I would imagine you could take the skills that you learned in sculpting and use that skill development process to learn anything else.
Like language.
Or anything else.
If you learn, you know, Spanish, you can learn German. It's just a matter of, you know.
Because you understand kinesthetics.
Right.
You understand how to move.
Right.
So, so I took an MMA fight against a firefighter, Chicago firefighter. And it was pretty funny. It was I came out, because I was a cop and he's a firefighter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was at the Odeum, and I come out and I had the Bad Boys, song and playing, and everybody in the house was booing, boo, boo. And a firefighter came out, and all us firefighter guys are going, "He's gonna kick your ass! He's gonna kick your ass!" It was really fun. And
what was the promotion?
Oh God, it was young or what. I don't even know. But I think he's in federal prison now. So yeah, it was but it was pretty good promotion. Tim Nevinger fought in it, and there was, they did a good job with it. But so I remember the fight doctor saying, "Hey, you fighting that firefighter?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, you're gonna kick his ass." I go, "Really? Why do you say that?" He goes, "Man, he was so nervous he could barely, bend over and touch his toes." Oh, really? And I was pretty chill, I was kind of like, "Hey, it's gonna happen."
Oh, nice.
But my coach at the time didn't know. I didn't tell him my background. I never would. I'm just like, "Hey, I want to learn jiu-jitsu. I'm a white belt. I don't give a shit what I've done for the last 30 years or 40 years. I just, I'm here to learn jiu-jitsu." So I never told anybody. Nobody knew that I had any training at all. As a matter of fact, I remember. Tim Nevinger at all?
No.
He's fucking Man Mountain. He removes trees, like tree stumps, for a living. That's what he does. I think he does it with his bare hands. It's freaking huge. He's friends with Aaron and Ryan. I think Aaron lived with him for a little bit. But he's just a huge dude. And it was funny. The first time I ever rolled, I rolled against him, and he's just huge. And I tapped him with a straight ankle lock from shoot.
Okay.
And of course, he had no clue that I would do it, no clue that I even knew what it was. And he fucking tortured me after that. Just tortured me, but it was worth that one tap.
Yeah.
I don't think I tapped anybody for like 3 months after that. But so I go in this fight, and Steve Colon I think Steve Colon was coaching the other guy.
Okay.
And he goes, "Oh man," he told my coach, he goes, "Hey, I don't want Larry to lose, because it would be like an old time martial arts guy losing, and it would kind of be an end in an era or something along those lines," which I thought was kind of funny, but I ended up winning, so it was fun.
Nice. How'd you win?
Rear naked choke. So I just, I had a plan of going out there and kicking, and and I felt pretty comfortable.
Was it bare knuckle, or did you have
No,
gloves?
no, it was
MMA,
gloves. MMA gloves. And
Jesus, how old do you think he is, Zito?
Yeah, it was Marcus of Queensberry rules. We were on the docks.
I don't know. I'm just making
tape
sure
dipped in glass.
It was called the Kumite.
I'll make sure we're all talking about the same era here. That's all.
No. So this dude, so I just, one of my coaches said, he goes, "Yeah, don't kick the first round."
Okay.
He goes, "Because you don't want to go, just don't want to go down, don't kick." And other people are telling me, "Oh man, when this guy hits pads, he hits hard. He's he hits hard." So I just I went in there and covered and jabbed, and I probably jabbed him in the face 80 times.
Really?
Just pulped his face. And then he took a swing, went down. He was in turtle, and I just did the, three to the ribs, one to the head, three to the ribs, one to the head. He tried to stand up, took his back, and choked him.
Wow.
Round one.
Awesome. Round one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
It was awesome. It was, I'll never do it again.
No.
Yeah, but it was awesome. I just,
go
for
on
me,
top. That's the way to go.
Yeah, right. I'm undefeated.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Undefeated,
But
Larry.
for me, it was,
That's right.
you know what, dude? It was kind of like
80 jabs in round one. That is like 4 times more than the Damian Maya Woodley complete fight.
And for me, it was like right now, I was boxing up until a couple years ago, and then I'm like, I saw a guy I used to box with in the 80s, and do you ever run across Fred Degerberg? You ever hear of him?
I've heard of that name.
So he has Degerberg Academy. It was a big martial arts school. It was one of the top grossing martial arts schools in the country back in the 80s and 90s. And Fred's a great guy. He's been around forever. Trained John Belushi and those guys. I mean, way back in the day.
Yeah.
So what the hell was I saying, dude? What was my story?
How hard did that white belt knee you in the
Yeah,
face?
he kneed me in the face so hard that I just forgot what happened in 1980. Completely blacked it out.
Oh, that's great.
I think you were boasting about your undefeated MMA record.
My 1-0 record. Yeah, my 1-0 MMA record. And I don't know where I was going with that story.
I think you were just trying to drop John Belushi's name.
Yeah, I was working on the John Belushi.
I thought I would be in a food coma for this, but because I went to that barbecue and I was telling you guys about that, and I'm like, right now, I'm like, man, I feel like I can take a nap right now.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
you're going to make weight for the...
I'm worried about it right
Chicago
now because I
Open,
ate a
right?
lot of that pizza. So my brother-in-law, he made these. I guess he's got this Weber grill, and then you can buy this like an insert for it that can cook like wood fire pizzas, and he gets it to be like. So he puts coal and he puts like hickory wood in the back, and the Weber grill becomes like this oven, right? Because you got the top on it, and he gets it to be like 600 to 1,000 degrees in that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They buy all the toppings from Whole Foods, and he's just making these pizzas. They cook in like 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
3 minutes.
Damn.
He's like, here, come on, check it. Puts it in there, and just 3 minutes. Literally, I'm watching that thing just cook. Pepperoni. He's got the mushroom. He's got the sausage one. It's like, this is awesome.
Well, tell the story about the dessert, though.
Oh yeah, the dessert. Okay, so
I mean, unless it's proprietary information.
It's not proprietary. So my sister's like, hey, what can we do for desserts? I'm like, desserts? I go, Salerno's makes a Nutella pizza. So I'm like, you can do that. I'm like, do you have Nutella? She's like, I think we got some Nutella. You know. So they didn't have any Nutella, so she actually melted dark chocolate, puts it over the pizza crust, and then puts coconut flake all over the top of it, and then cooks that, and it's amazing. I had like 3 or 4 slices of that.
So that was about 10,000 calories for the dinner.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably walking around like 150 now.
Nice.
You'd be a pudgy little nugget if you didn't train.
I would, dude. I'd be that short, fat dude. Yeah, that'd be me. I'd be a little meatball, for sure. But yeah, it was so good. My grandpa was there, and I'm like, Gramp, you want some pizza? He's like, yeah, I'll have some pizza. He's 92 years old.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, what else? I go, careful, Grandpa, it's hot. Oh, yeah, no problem. So he's sitting there holding the pizza, and my mom's like, Dad, do you need anything else? He's like, I'll have another beer. My mom's like, you've had one. That's enough. 92-year-old.
Oh, she's cutting him off?
Oh, she's got to cut him off.
Oh, that
he'll
ain't
keep
right.
drinking. He'll keep drinking.
Good man.
Yeah.
We were at a wedding, and I'm hanging out with my grandpa, and he's like, can I have a glass of wine? I'm like, yeah, Graham, we're at a wedding. Of course you have a glass of wine.
Dude, you're 92. You want to
Yeah,
hit
you
it?
do
wanna
whatever
hit
you
a
want.
acid?
Whatever the fuck you want, right?
You want an eighth of shrooms? You're 92.
So, he's got the wine, and then, my mom again, she's like, he's had 2 glasses. You can't. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Man, look at that face. He wants some wine.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Poor guy. He's great. So we're going through all of his, he lives in Cicero still.
Yeah.
And he's got this house in Cicero, and it's just like, just lots of stuff. He's lived there his whole life. Nearly. He used to be a barber. And back in the day, you'd have your business in the front, and then you'd live in the back. Right.
Yeah.
So I grew up in that house. My mother was a little girl in that house. So we all kind of grew up in the same house. You know? My grandpa would be a barber, and then my grandmother was like the beautician. So she'd have her beauty on the side. Yeah. And my grandmother died when my mother was 13. And then my grandfather remarried years after that. But that house is, got all this stuff in it, And now my grandparents have to live in a home. They're getting to that age where they can't take care of themselves, Grandfather's 92, my grandmother's 88, which she'll argue with you that she's not 88.
Right.
She thinks she's 86. And my mom's like,
Doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, right. Really. I'll give you a couple of years.
I'll give you the shaving
We'll
years.
call you 72. We'll do that. How about that?
exactly.
As long as you're happy. Here, Grandpa, have another beer.
So they have to move to, a home,
Yeah.
And so we're trying to figure out, okay, we got all this stuff. We got to start figuring out how to clean out the house. It's just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So just got to make sure, okay, Gramp, what do you need me to do? What do you want me to get rid of? What can we start? Because it could take years to clear out a house like that. You know, it's just a big house.
Yeah.
So it's just, going through all that. It's tough, and just seeing them they're excited to move into this nursing home, facility, but it's costly. It's not inexpensive. It's fucking $6,000-7,000
Well, you got to keep
a
doing
month.
jujitsu, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's very, very, very pricey. So, it's just it's cool that they're moving to another place and that they're gonna be safe.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother fell. She was trying to get up early out of bed, fell, broke her hip.
Yeah.
Or fractured her pelvis.
Yeah, that's
what it was.
bad.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
At that age, they're not gonna recover quickly. So
Yeah, no doubt.
and she can't help him and everything like that. So it's a good move for everyone. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I'm really feeling those pizzas now, and that whatever that dessert we concocted up.
Stare.
Larry, you do executive protection.
I do.
What is that?
Yeah. So I work for a company. I just got certified as a private detective, private security contractor. So I work for a company. It's called Clark International, and it's they do security. They do all the security for Warren Buffett.
Wow.
I actually started working for them about a year ago in Chicago doing some things, and they travel all over the world. And they've been to Iraq, Afghanistan, just doing protection with people. So, so kind of using my former police work, but also, it's interesting because if you do the research, you'll find that there's been no assassination attempt that's been stopped by somebody using a firearm. It's always hands-on. Mm-hmm. And it's not punching, it's dogpiling. Mm-hmm. So all over the world. Because you really don't have time to draw and shoot, and there's people around, so you have to put hands on. So that's kind of what I teach now is that vertical entanglement. So I teach at a place called the Range at 355. That's where I'm employed full time. So I teach firearms and concealed carry. I taught a concealed carry class today, and one of the things we work on is extremely close quarter shooting. Okay, and basically it's a mixture of jiu-jitsu, knives, and guns. And how does this all work together? Using the training method of jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. So the same training method and contextualizing it. So the reality is these, like criminal assaults occur at close range. Nobody assaults from 20 feet away. Everybody comes close. Mm-hmm. And a predatory criminal is going to use verbal deception to try to get close to you. And once they get close to you...
Meaning what?
So what they're going to do. So when you think about it, most crimes occur in transitional areas. So walking from your office to your car, or going into your walking down the street, or you're moving from one place to another. And the reason why is because most predators are like predators in the wild. They want to stay in one place and watch people walk by them, and then they make a decision whether they're going to engage you, and they also make a decision on whether they're going to attack you. So unlike martial arts, a criminal attack is an unequal initiative event. So an equal initiative event is we slap hands, we bump fists, and we roll, and we both know we're rolling. An unequal initiative event is that you don't have confirmation that you're being attacked until you're attacked. So what the predator does is they use verbal deception to close the gap, to close the distance. So they'll either try to intercept you, or they'll go, hey, dude, hey, what's going on, man? Hey, you got $1, or you got a cigarette, or could I bum a light, or any of those common things to engage you. And then once they're close, that's when they'll spring that attack. And so you really don't have time to get into boxing. You really don't even want to separate like that, because what we find in realistic training is that if you're in a weapons-based environment, you have a weapon on your hip, on your waist, you have a knife in your pocket, or you have a gun holstered. If I give that person separation, so if I hit him in the face, and of course, if I don't knock him out, now I've separated from him and giving him that opportunity to access the tool. So what I need to do is grapple in a vertical environment. So we don't want to grab the person behind the neck. So we don't want to do like a tie clinch behind their neck, because now I'm giving that person access to my waist and his waist. Okay. So we play a underhook and tie game. So we do a elbow tie or a wrist tie, and then look for a duck under or look for an arm drag, try to get to a dominant position. And, the way we define a dominant position is anytime you have a extreme time or movement advantage over another person. That's what jiu-jitsu is. So when I'm in a dominant position in jiu-jitsu, I have a time and movement advantage over somebody else. So in a vertical or in a horizontal grappling or vertical grappling environment, when you're looking for weapons, the biggest mistake we see is a timing error. So what happens is that somebody has a weapon on their body to protect themselves, and they're in a fist fight, but they try to get the weapon and it's almost impossible to get it out.
Right.
You can't defend yourself.
Right.
So you need to get to a dominant position, tie up their arm, and then you could access that tool, whether it's a knife, a club, or whatever. So now modern self-defense, especially in a weapons-based environment, is jiu-jitsu. It's just you're not using everything, but you're using a lot. The concepts are all jiu-jitsu concepts. So,
is this something you came up with?
No. A guy named Craig Douglas started it out, and we, a group of 6 guys, friends. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but a group of my friends, all kind of out of the 6 of us, 3 of us are black belts in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and we've we've helped to develop it, but it's this guy Craig Douglas. He's down in the South, but he teaches all over the world. Yeah. Teaches military and all over the world. Fighting in cars, put 2 people in a car.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah, dude.
That sounds fun.
You know what a simunition gun is?
No.
Okay, so a simunition was developed in 1989, and it's a cartridge, people call it a bullet, but a cartridge, but it could cycle through a firearm. And so they have special firearms, like special Glocks or uppers to rifles. And you could shoot just like a regular firearm. It's like paintball on steroids. So you end up getting bruised and everything.
Right.
Well, we took it to a point where we do contact shots with it. So we'll put 2 people in a car, and the first thing we'll do is we'll put two people in a car, and we'll say, okay, just wrestle, just see what happens. And what you realize is it's grappling in a 3-dimensional environment, because now you could use the surfaces of the car to put pressure on somebody. Right. So if you knee on belly somebody, you could take your back, put it on the top of the car,
push
and
out the door,
drive that knee on belly down. Right.
Right.
So what
you have normal clothes on, street
normal
clothes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you find in a vehicle grappling situation is that the first person to go for a weapon loses. And it's totally counterintuitive. The person who wins is the person who goes for position first. The person who wins is the person who gets their hips up first. So if I hip escape up the door and drive across, and I could get a knee on belly type of situation, I'm going to win that every time. Yeah. So when somebody's focused on trying to pull a weapon, if you get your hips higher than there, now you could use gravity and the surface of the car. If you're on the bottom in a car, you're going to lose. Yeah. If a weapon goes into the footwell, you're never going to get it. So in that grappling situation, and that's what we do. I'm teaching it Friday to Narcotics unit.
Really?
And yeah, it's a freaking riot.
Well, that's what they say, position over submission. So it makes sense that it would apply if you have a weapon, right?
Yeah, the weapon would be the submission.
Submission, right?
Yep. So it's positional dominance.
Yeah.
All fighting is positional dominance.
All right, exactly.
So if we're standing together, next to each other, and my hips are facing yours and your hips are facing mine, we're in a neutral dominant position. Right. If I just move, just 5 degrees off, I curve 5 degrees off, and your hips are facing forward, but my hips are facing you, in order for you to engage me, you have to turn to me.
You have to.
So I have a time advantage.
Exactly.
So I'm in a dominant position. So anytime that I could position myself in a dominant position, and that goes with bodyguard work, or
right.
If I could take a dominant position over somebody, I'm going to win the exchange. So that's and that's jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. That's just jiu-jitsu translated into another realm, but it's jiu-jitsu.
So when you're doing bodyguard work, I mean, are you actively looking for like signs of people being like strange or acting weird or looking weird? Is it you constantly looking at the crowd, constantly looking at their, what they're doing with their hands? Is that that's all?
Yeah, you're monitoring hands, you're monitoring behavior.
Yeah.
There's 3 cues to an intimate attack. There's 3 body language cues.
Oh, there is. Okay.
The first cue is facial grooming. So they'll put their hands up by their face, right around their neck, their face, their head. The reason why is because if I want to attack, I need my hands to be up, right? And it's unnatural for me to just fists or whatever. So you're gonna see this, and if they're using verbal deception to get close, that's the biggest body language cue to deception. The biggest body language cue is somebody grooming.
Yeah, like Boss Rutan has that thing where he says, like, if you feel like you're about to get swung on, or there's some guy that's getting loud, he's in your face, you just kind of bring your hand up like this, like kind of hand on the chin.
They'll call it like a fence.
Right.
So I teach to just kind of have your hands up and create this barrier between you and the other person, like an Italian taco.
Right.
You know, so you have your hands up. Hey,
I'm natural at it. I'm a natural.
Yeah, you have your hands up, but
Barone.
it creates this barrier between you and that other person that they have to actually get past.
Right.
So,
but what we're talking about is that if you're looking for people who might attack you,
you're looking for these cues. Right.
Okay,
so you're looking for that, kind of the opposite of what you would do.
Right.
So you're looking for that cue. The other thing they do is target glancing. So they look before they attack. What they'll do is they'll look side to side. So they're kind of seeing, are there witnesses around?
Right.
Is there anybody that's going to interfere with me? Right. So they kind of do that target glancing. And then generally there's going to be a weight shift, so they gain traction. You're going to see movement towards a weapon or some sort of movement. Everybody that uses a firearm actually sticks their arm out to extension and tries to push through a crowd. So if you look at video, you'll see that is really obvious. When you see it, it's really obvious if it comes at you.
Where does that stem from? Why are they doing that?
Because they want to get the gun closer to the person they're trying to shoot.
Totally in front of it.
So they push lock it out.
They don't want the bullet to fall short.
Yeah, exactly. So they're making up that extra
odd, right?
3 inches.
That's an odd way of doing it, though, right?
Generally you shoot at extension, but it's just usually it's one-handed with these attempts. You'll see it one-handed, and you'll see them kind of use that hand to push through or over shoulders or over the crowd. So I was at, you know what Berkshire Hathaway is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was at their annual meeting, and I was doing bodyguard work with Warren Buffett.
That's Warren Buffett's real estate company. Right?
Yeah, him and Charlie Munger. Okay. Right. It's a holding company, and he's a rock star in the financial world. He's literally a rock star, and the Chinese press, oh my God, they love the dude. And we were walking around the convention center, and he's of course getting mobbed because all these people are shareholders in Berkshire Hathaway, and so you've got thousands of people, and you're walking, and he's a gentleman. He's a great, just a gentleman, but he's an older gentleman. He's 80. I think he's 85 years old, so he's not moving quick, and he can't get pushed, touched. So you're sweating your butt off, looking around for threats.
You got to bring your A game,
trying to stop people from getting close. People are pressing in, you're pressing them back. So even still, you're in that work, a really effective technique is just to put your hand on somebody's hip and just kind of push their hip back. So just like you learn in jiu-jitsu, so just like passing the guard, very similar type of things that you could do to control. Yeah. So, the thing I love about jiu-jitsu is it's not that it's just a sport or an art or a defensive sport. It's that I think I forget who says this, but who's the guy who partnered with Marcelo Garcia?
Josh
Waitzkin.
Yeah.
He calls it thematic interconnectivity. So you learn one thing, and that you could take that theme and use it in your business or apply it in some other realm. Right. That's where jiu-jitsu or martial arts becomes really interesting, because we're not going to be fighting people all the time, but if we could take that and make ourselves a better person, or take that and make ourselves better at what we do to provide for our family, that's the thing that I find really fascinating about jiu-jitsu, and less so about traditional martial arts. Mm-hmm. And I think traditional martial arts, because of the hierarchy, allows somebody who could be a sham, wouldn't be able to fight their way out of a wet paper bag. They become the guru, and now they use that to abuse other people. Yeah. Where in jiu-jitsu, it's really easy to ferret out people. People like that get ferreted out all the time. Of course. If they're not legit, somebody's coming in. Usually it's a young purple belt, and they're going to take them out. Right. So that honesty and truth in jiu-jitsu, there's nothing that compares to it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many of those videos online you see of like those fake, guys doing whatever. Yeah. There's so many of them. It's so crazy. But they have a following. Why is that? Yeah. Isn't that bizarre? Like, everyone's got to be in on it, right?
I know
everyone's
why. You're talking about where like they touch you and the guy goes flying across the room.
Yeah. I know why. These, like,
it's because everybody wants Yoda. Yeah. Everybody. No, it's like there's a certain personality that gets drawn to that. Oh, you know what? I want a master to teach me everything. I don't want to really work hard doing it, but I want a master who's going to teach me everything. And jiu-jitsu is the opposite of that. Jiu-jitsu is like, you are your teacher. Right. Your teacher gives you techniques, but you have to put the time in. It's a sport. It's like wrestling, right? Yeah. So if you're not putting the time in, if you're not training, if you're not drilling, you're not going to get better. There's not going to be Yoda that says, hey, do this, this, and this, and you're going to be invincible. You understand through jiu-jitsu, you understand what you need to do to get better because you're getting your ass kicked when you're a white belt. So you're like, and the funny thing is that the guy who goes 4 times a week is better than the guy who goes 3 times a week. And the guy who goes 2 times a week is worse than all those guys. And so there's this linear progression. And that's the thing with Aaron again. Yeah. It's like, here's this kid, doesn't really have, I'm not deriding him. I'm just saying that when he came in, he was like a kid who was like playing video games and shit.
Sure.
He's an athlete now. I mean, he's a badass athlete now.
Right.
But it's from him spending the time and doing the drills and being interested in doing it. And, now he's dangerous. I mean, he is dangerous.
Yeah.
And anybody could be that.
Yeah.
Anybody could be
Anybody
that.
can be that.
I'm a freaking 54-year-old dude, man. I roll with Division I wrestlers and beat them.
Right.
So it's how does that happen?
Right.
It happens because, first of all, jiu-jitsu.
Right.
You just say that. It happens because jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, it happens because you put the effort in, you put the time on the mat, and that gives you dividends. It gives back to you. The more you put in, the more. And what a great life lesson that is, isn't it?
It is.
I
was explaining to my sister, and one of her friends was there tonight at her birthday party, and they were like, "Oh, we need to start doing a self-defense." I'm like, "Why don't you do jiu-jitsu?"
Exactly.
I'm like, "Come on." My sister's, she just turned 44 today.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old her friend was, but they're moms. They've got they're housewives and they have careers and all this stuff. They have to maintain. I'm like, but doing jiu-jitsu is it's great. I said, you should just take a class, give it some time, try it out. I mean, my other younger sister, she does CrossFit.
Yeah.
And, she's trying to push CrossFit on them. You're like all CrossFit people do. Like,
do
CrossFit.
Sure. Yeah, the cult of CrossFit.
The cult of CrossFit. And I'm like cult of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, listen, you got to do jiu-jitsu. I mean, CrossFit's great. I have nothing against anything.
Yeah.
If you're moving your body, doing whatever, do it.
Yeah.
Whether it be fake martial arts, you're just rolling on the ground. Like people are pushing you with their hands. Great.
All right, maybe don't do that. Because that's just fucking stupid.
It's silliness, but
my buddy just went up to Madison for the CrossFit Games. Where it's like the best. It's like world for CrossFit, basically. Okay. And he was up there for 3 days. I'm like, how long is that event during the day? He's like, oh, it's like 8 hours. I'm like, you watch people lift weights
for 8 hours.
For 8 hours, 3 days in a row, dude.
It's like the sport of fitness.
What?
They time themselves, right? It's a timing thing. It's like, oh, you did it in 34 seconds.
It's,
oh,
it's
33.
It's who's the best at exercising.
Yes.
You know what's funny? A buddy of mine got really into powerlifting.
I'm not trying to knock it, but I'm just saying.
No, a buddy of mine got really into powerlifting. I mean, really into powerlifting. Yeah. He's trained with this guy, Hawthorne, who's like a small dude, and he's just bad. I mean, he could lift. And so my buddy, who's one of these guys that we trained, the guy who actually, Craig Douglas, who developed the extremely close quarter concepts, shooting it. And he goes, oh man, this guy would be badass in jiu-jitsu. Get him into jiu-jitsu. Guy went in and got injured, he just moved in a certain way and pulled his hamstring or something. Right. And it's like, that doesn't translate. It's completely different.
That's right.
CrossFit, you could take a CrossFit guy who looks badass, put him on the mat, put him with a small dude, and he's going to get his ass kicked.
Exactly. Things do not translate.
It doesn't
I
translate.
Totally agree with you. I mean, I've never done yoga. You've done yoga.
Yeah.
I said, I believe from what people tell me, yoga is super, super difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult. I said, I don't think jiu-jitsu is as difficult as yoga. For me, I'm not holding it. I mean, I'm doing position, I'm doing sparring, but I don't think it's like yoga. Am I wrong by saying that?
Depends. You can make jiu-jitsu as hard as you want to make it, and same thing with yoga. I mean, if you go into a 90-minute hot yoga studio and you want to get lazy.
That sounds brutal, man.
You want to get lazy with some of the poses.
Oh, you could get lazy.
It's not that hard.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If you're hitting every pose and holding it, and to the point where your leg is like shaking and it could be hard as fuck. If you do jiu-jitsu and you go in there and you roll really hard with everyone and not just kind of like give up sweeps, or you just roll like 12 rounds in a row, you could make jiu-jitsu harder than yoga.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just figured because I've never done yoga. I know you've been telling me to do it, but I just from what I hear, it's so difficult. But again, I'm a guy who goes 100%.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
I like it for
jiu-jitsu, I go
recovery.
100.
I don't
Okay.
like if I want to get a workout in, I'm going to go roll. I'm going to
Okay, I
go
see what you're
train.
saying.
You know.
Yeah. So I would I don't know. I told him, I said, you guys would probably feel more comfortable doing gi.
Yeah.
I go because of that layer of protection.
Oh, I think it's
you
a
know?
great idea.
I said all women's class might be good for you. So I'm gonna see that they
Up
live
to
in
Gen Z.
yeah, but see they live in Westchester.
Okay.
So they're in a suburb out here, and I'm trying to think of what schools they can try out that's close here. They don't. Some people don't like to travel.
Well, and the thing about jiu-jitsu is that it's not just the technique. It's
Right.
it's the actual working against a resisting human being.
Right.
Having somebody put pressure on you, being in side control and getting smothered in side control, and getting used to that. Because most humans, they don't do that.
Right.
We kind of see that as being a normal thing.
Right.
But most humans, they don't do that. And so once they get pressured, it's funny. My kid was a really good wrestler in high school, and went to state, and he was just a really good wrestler. And we were talking one time, and I said, in terms of the ability to defend themselves, you're at the top of everybody in your school. Your football linemen, your guys who say, "Oh, I've been in 50." You've been in 50 fights. Bullshit. 50 fights.
Right.
You always get the bouncers who are like, "Oh, I've been in 150." Bullshit. 150. You're a shitty bouncer if you had to fight 150 times. You're fighting 3 times a week, moron. And you're fighting drunk guys. So
Right.
it's all that stuff is just absolute bullshit.
Right.
But the reality is that as a competitive grappler, you're fighting full force. At least. 6 times a night, and if you train every day or a couple times a day, you're fighting 6, 7, 8 times full force. So you're completely comfortable under that type of stress.
Right.
So how many times do you think in a Grama? I don't want to be bad, but how many times do you think in a Grama God class that they're under that type of pressure? Never.
Yeah.
So you never get comfortable with that pressure.
Right.
Whereas in jiu-jitsu, in 3 months, you're comfortable with that pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many times have you guys ever had a karate black belt come in his gi to your school?
No.
Oh, dude, it's the best.
Is it?
That's
'Cause
happened
that's a
to you?
thing?
Oh, dude, we've had guys come in with their black belt.
Wait for a challenge match.
No. Just
Okay.
just come in and hey, I'm going to take jiu-jitsu, kind of see what it's like. I'll tell you a ninja story in a second. But so this dude, the guy comes in, he's got the embroidered black belt, with his name and shit on it, and the really thin karate gi. Every white belt in the room is like, "Oh God, please let me roll with them, please," because they just want to destroy him.
Exactly.
And I had a ninja in my class one time. It's really funny. So I didn't know who he was, and one of my students is like, "Hey, he trains at the ninjutsu school." And
Ninjutsu.
Yeah,
Okay.
ninjutsu school. So he's a ninja, right? So I go and roll with him.
It's real. It's a real school.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
they really. So I'm rolling with this guy, and so I pass his guard, and then I'm going to choke him with his own ninjutsu gi.
Yeah.
He's wearing the ninja gi, right? So I pull the lapel, and it's tied. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm in side control. I untie it, pull it up, and then the other side's tied on the inside. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I untie it, and the guys are like laughing because I've got this guy in side control. He's struggling, and I'm just
Untied, right.
I'm like undressing him.
Leisurely untying this uniform.
Yeah, I had to watch out for the little shurikens and the stars and
Did you have those
the
in there?
smoke bomb. I was
That would
afraid
be
he was going to
hilarious.
disappear on me. And yeah, I just choked him with his own gi just to kind of have fun with it, and he never came back.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Surprising.
Yeah,
That's a weird thing, right? The smoke bomb thing. Like they throw it down and they disappear. Like
Oof.
you didn't even fight me, dude. You just disappeared.
Right.
Like, what's the point of that?
Shit, if I could do that, I would.
I don't
it's
know.
awesome, man. You transport. Hey, dude, tell me that you would want that thing when the dude with the axe is running at you.
Yeah, right.
Poof, done.
Yeah.
Give me that for
Gone.
that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw it down, just poof, gone.
Yeah.
That is kind of neat. I remember those like horrible '80s like American Ninja.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my god, I used to love them though when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's
You
so
thought it was
cool.
real.
I thought it was real. I
Yeah.
100% thought it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, oh yeah, that you could totally do that. The ninja stars and like the one punch and
Sure.
everyone would come at you one at a time.
Yeah.
It was like what is that?
Or
I
they'd
mean,
extend their arm out.
extend their arm
As
out.
they're
It's
coming
so
towards you.
bizarre.
Yeah.
So bizarre how the
Steven
cinematography.
Seagal.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So what other close quarter kind of tactical training do you work on?
A lot of firearm stuff, a lot of knife stuff, but the knife is very it's pretty straightforward.
Is that 21-foot rule thing real?
Yeah, they call it the Tooler drill, and it was actually developed by this guy Tooler. He was a training sergeant for a police department. And what they did is they said, okay, if somebody had a knife, and how far away would they have to be for you to be able to draw your firearm and shoot? And they tested it out. It turned out to be about 21 feet.
Okay.
But the reality of it is that nobody does a freaking cavalry charge from 21 feet
right.
to come at you. What happens is
they bum a light and then
they bum a light and then they stab you.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
and they stab you like a prison yard. Stabbings aren't like the stabbings are like a sewing machine. Like they're just sticking it in as fast as they can.
Right.
And so it's a little bit different than what is represented in most martial arts, because it's really important that we contextualize what we're doing. Like, it's funny, I was teaching that car fighting class years and years ago, probably about 8 years ago, and I had a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt in California. Really, really talented kid, really good kid. He did a bunch of martial arts. So he's in the car, and a guy who has no grappling experience whatsoever kicks his ass. And he gets out of the car,
brown belt
kicks his ass.
Wow.
And I bring him out of the car. I go, "Hey, Paul, what the fuck, man?" And he's like, he goes, "Yeah, I was trying to do this knife disarm, and I was trying to do this." I go, "Dude, you're a jiu-jitsu brown belt. Just use your jiu-jitsu." And well, Paul thought of jiu-jitsu as a sport. He didn't think of it as a self-defense thing. So he compartmentalized it to, hey, it's a sport, or it's a pastime. It's not self-defense. When in reality, all that other shit you were doing,
right,
that was martial art. Wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, those are martial arts.
Right.
So once he threw the mental switch, he fucking dominated everybody. Once he threw the mental, he's like, "Oh shit, I can use my jiu-jitsu?" Yeah. Fucking dominated everybody in the car. It was cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean,
and you also teach situational awareness training too. So give us a couple of tips. What would that be? So
situational awareness, it's the funny thing about situational awareness is everybody says, "Hey, you have to be situational aware." Well, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
I mean, really, what does it mean? What's awareness mean to you? What do you think awareness means?
Oh, I would say don't be walking through neighborhoods that you shouldn't be in. Don't be intoxicated in a.
But that's not awareness. What's awareness? What's the definition of awareness? Putting you under pressure.
Okay, I would. I don't know what the definition would be. I would say don't be fucking texting on your phone.
Okay, I'll define it. Awareness is a visual field that's constantly expanding or contracting. Okay, so it's a visual field that's constantly expanding or contracting.
Okay.
So in order for you to do your job, you have to concentrate on a computer.
Right.
You can't be aware. But the best rule would be when we're not aware, when we're focused, we'll call that task fixation. So I'm fixated on a task. So I'm typing on a phone, that's task fixation. I'm talking on a phone, that's task fixation. I'm typing on a computer, I'm task fixated. Because most crimes happen in transitional areas, places that would support a crime. So when you're moving through that area, don't be task fixated. So keep your head up, look around, look for things. Like if I'm in a transitional area, I'm moving from one place to another.
Yeah, what would you consider a transitional area?
So a transitional area would be a sidewalk. I'm moving down, I'm walking past Wiki Stick guy's house,
right.
Like an ATM. A lot of predatory criminal assaults occur in parking lots because they're isolated. Right. So parking lots, parking garages. Anytime you're moving let's say you live in a 2-flat and you're moving from the door of your apartment to your car in the street. That's a transitional area. So anytime you're moving through a transitional area, don't be task fixated. Just be aware of what's going on.
Get off your phone, basically.
Get off your phone. And if you see somebody who's not transitional in a transitioning area, that should draw your attention. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's sitting on leaning against a light pole, leaning against a car, If somebody's stationary, it should draw your attention.
Right.
And just the mere fact of, interesting studies done starting in the 80s about what predators look for in a victim. And what they look for is gait. They thin slice gait. So what they're looking for is how a person moves through their environment. If you're texting on a phone, you're moving like you're an old person. Your head's down, your hips kind of start to get restricted, you're kind of moving a little bit slower. You're drawing predatory attention by the way you move through your environment.
Right.
If you move like a predator, if your head's up and you're moving, criminals don't want to get in fights. They just want to take your shit, right? They don't want to get in a fight with you. They don't want to get hurt. They don't want to get caught. So they're going to make a decision based upon how easy of a target you appear to be. So task fixation is one of the things that if you fixate on a task, you're just drawing predatory attention. And you're allowing that person to get closer to you without you seeing it. So it would be very hard for you to control that distance if you weren't able to perceive that they were there.
Yeah.
So does that answer the question for you?
It does.
Cool.
I almost got in a little altercation earlier this week. It's really odd. I was visiting a client, and he just sold his business, and he was there to meet the new owners and to sign the contracts and stuff like that for the support. So I go there, and I walk behind like the register area, it was a restaurant. I'm just standing there, and then these two kids were like sitting down eating at the table right in front of the windows.
Yeah.
And so I'm just standing there, and the new owner wasn't there. He's like, the old owner was like, hey, just hang on, let me give him a call. I'm like, okay. So I'm in regular clothes, t-shirt and jeans. And we were talking about, I don't know what we were talking about. So I'm looking out the window, and I see a car backing up and another car backing up, like in the parking lot. And I hear, because the lady's beeping her horn, but she's still backing up, and the other car's still backing up. Boom, they hit. I'm like, what? Saw an accident happen, So I'm looking out there to see what's going on. I wasn't really paying attention to the kids sitting down eating, but then I caught the kid's eye. He was staring at me, and he's like, yo, man, you got a problem? I'm like, what? I'm like, why are you staring at me? Why are you staring at me? I'm like,
because you're beautiful.
I've said, I'm actually looking at the accident right outside the window there. That's,
Yeah.
I'm not staring. I wasn't even looking at you. I was looking at the car accident. And then he looks outside the window, and he's like, oh, and then he just like, puts his head down and starts eating, just like, but he had to puff up a little bit, you know?
Sure.
And I'm just looking at him, and I walked up to the table when he was saying this to me.
Yeah.
Because
you were showing, I'm not
gonna, so I walked up to his table, I'm like, I'm looking at this accident, I'm pointing at the accident to be like, what
Yeah.
He's young, he must have,
Yeah.
I don't know how old he was, maybe like 19, 20 years old, him and his buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you need to relax. Like, but I don't know if it's a generational thing where they felt like
It's insecurity.
it's insecurity for sure. I understand that. And it's like, I felt kind of bad, that he felt that I was staring at him. And I'm like, I really wasn't. I wanted him to understand that I was looking at this accident that happened, and I was smiling, I was being friendly, but he wasn't having any of it. He was just like mean mug and just like whatever, like kind of like just like I felt kind of bad, but it's just interesting.
It's
just
not your clown, not your circus, though. Who gives a crap? Rock on, because you're not going to solve his issues,
no,
right?
certainly not, certainly not. But it's just he takes that with him. Now someone who like me maybe have escalated that a little bit, you know, and maybe that's what he was looking for.
Yeah,
looking for a little escalation, looking for a little
of course.
Hey,
bro, chill.
Yeah,
what makes you think I'm looking at you?
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Course, right.
And then you got this situation happening, and he might go off thinking that that's the right way to act in public, or that's the right way to.
Yeah,
it's just interesting.
And his buddy's there; he can't back down in front of his buddy now.
Right.
Yeah,
it could have been bad, for anyone,
But what's interesting is that they're now you don't know who's the shark and who's the sheep, right?
No.
You have no idea.
No.
And he didn't know that he was messing with somebody who actually could fight.
Right.
So that's the thing about jiu-jitsu that's interesting is that because you're getting, you're rolling with people, it's a humbling experience.
Mm-hmm.
People are tapping you, it's a humbling experience. And no matter how good we think we are, there's somebody better than us,
100%, right.
And probably right down the block or in the same gym or in, you know, so your fighters tend to be pretty humble people and pretty decent and funny people. You know, I find, you know, I travel, you know, when I travel around the U.S., I always look for a jiu-jitsu gym, and people are just so welcoming and so, you know, it's just great to train with
Absolutely.
people. So, you know, but here's guys that they don't have to act like idiots because they know what they're capable of. So because you know what you're capable of, you don't have to act like an idiot to try to prove yourself. But, so that just comes straight from insecurity, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a good line, Zito. No, sorry, bro. I already fought like 6 rounds today. I'm good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Larry? Should we all walk around in tap out shirts just to like let
Sure.
people know?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
don't
tap out
mess
shirts
with
are
that
awesome.
guy,
Yeah.
right? That's got to be
We're
some
bringing
sort
back
of
tap out.
That's got to be some sort of line of defense, right? I mean, that's like putting an NRA sticker in your on the front door of your house. Like, let's not rob that house,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Know what it does though? Really,
What?
it draws that attention. They go, "Oh man, this guy's got guns in the house." Yeah. So you know that's the thing is that I tell people don't dress like tactile little douchebags, right? Don't wear the fishing vest with the gun and the, you know, because you don't want to draw that attention. You know, like those bags that look like they're military bags with Molly gear and everything. We call those "shoot me first" bags. Right, because armed robbery's going down. They're looking around. They're like, "Oh, that guy looks like he's got a gun." Boom!
Oh shit!
So why draw that attention to yourself?
Yeah.
You know, why not just kind of just be chill?
Right.
So
Yeah. Pocket protectors.
pocket protectors
For everybody.
Yeah.
You know what they're doing now? Speaking of people getting attacked in parking lots, I saw my cousin share this on Facebook. They're throwing something on the windshield of a car, like a plaid shirt,
Yeah.
and then they're parking like 2 spots over, and they're waiting for someone to like come out, like a girl to come out, get in her car, there's something on my windshield, get out of my car to move it off the windshield, and then they snag her.
Come on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Michigan.
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 That's where it's been going down.
I heard Kid Rock's running for like
Yeah, I
Senate.
heard that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Kid Rock's gonna fix it all.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
He'll
it.
take care of
You
that.
can't fuck it up any worse than it is.
I guess not.
you know?
Detroit.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the criminals, they're
They're not dumb.
not dumb.
They want your shit.
They want it.
Yeah, they'll
And
come up with stuff.
will.
They'll come up with ways. I mean, they are dumb, but in their little realm of criminality, they're the experts. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's scary out there.
yeah.
Larry, do you have your own gym?
No.
Okay, so you train at Carlson Gracie Aurora?
In Aurora, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And
So-
you're just an instructor there?
I'm an instructor. There.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did that gym open up?
Oh man, years and years ago. There was a split. We were training at Overtime. There was a wrestling school. You guys ever heard of it? No. It's the Olympic Training Center for wrestlers in the Midwest.
Okay.
Really, I don't know if they're still around. I think they are, but they're really, really good wrestling school. They had, I think 60 or 70 state champions come out of their program, private program. Well, they had all this mat space, and so Carlson Gracie come over and start to teach out of there, and we started there, and then there was sort of a split with them, and they got some financing to open the Aurora gym, and I gotta say it was maybe 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. So we've been there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of a industrial, right by the outlet mall on Farnsworth there. If you take 88 out to Farnsworth,
Okay.
there's a big outlet mall out
Right.
there. It's right behind that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that like towards like you're going towards the casino? Is there a casino out there?
No.
What am I thinking? Joliet.
Yeah, no.
thinking
This is
Joliet.
off at 88.
This is off 88. Okay.
Yeah. If you keep going, you end up in DeKalb.
Okay.
That's So it's been around for a while, and had a ton of people. Aaron, Salisbury, Michelle, a lot of people who train in the city, train at Vienna's, or train in people moving into the city. So
Yeah.
you get a lot of cross pollination between all the gyms.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I got to train at Carlson Gracie a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was for the first time I was downstairs here.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you, last year, that run that we had last year in competition where, Carlson Gracie was winning a lot of team titles and then we ended up winning the Masters Worlds title. That was one of the things that made it really special. Wow. Being in that, because it was seniors, it was his anniversary of his death.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And so Carlson really wanted to take a run. He competed at Masters Worlds last year.
That's right, yeah.
So it was huge. I mean, it was a big deal. It was the energy in the room was unbelievable.
Really?
And the whole thing, being there and being there for standing on the stage or on the the stand to get the trophy and with the whole team, from all over the country. So it was a really special moment. It was really cool. It really made that trip, I'm sure, Masters Worlds would be great. It was my favorite tournament. The way they set it up, the way they ran it, it was great.
Yeah.
The people that you see there, it was really, really cool. And the fact that it was in Vegas was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Not for you, but for those of you who compete earlier, it's awesome.
I heard the black belts are going on Thursday.
Yeah, so they right away.
Right away, like Thursday black. Because I was talking to Daniel Viana, and he's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, I think you guys are going on Thursday because of the black belt tournament on Saturday. Because they got that 8-man or 16-man. So I think they're trying to get those guys.
Right?
Yeah. Thursday, so this way they have a couple of days of rest for the 16-man.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, it's just no joke. I mean, at your Chicago Open, you're not going to see the level of competition. You've got world class guys. You got guys who won the worlds that are competing in this tournament, and some of those dudes are losing. Because you got these black belts who have been black belts for frickin' 60 years, 30 years, or whatever.
Right.
So it's
Any coral
pretty
belts?
badass.
Any coral belts competing?
I didn't see any.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
No, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Why not? You don't
But
think-
there's some badass
like isn't Hoyler?
black
Isn't
belts.
Hoyler a coral belt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't does Jean-Jacques still compete? Machado?
No,
Probably not.
But he's
Yeah.
still able to compete. I mean, he's not.
probably.
He's
Yeah.
not that. How old is Jean-Jacques Machado?
50 something.
He's gotta be in the league.
Yeah, he's probably around my age. I mean, he could.
He could, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see these guys compete again.
Yeah, that'd be cool, huh?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Be interesting to see what kind of game they have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the jiu-jitsu's changed since I started, since you guys started, I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you start seeing things come into fashion,
Sure.
they drop out, they come back in again, people make shit up, and,
Right.
it's just completely changed.
But
so.
still, the one true thing is the basics.
Oh, man, dude.
Hodger Gracie, the basics.
Daniel Wanderley put me in his guard and armbarred me from guard. I'm like, nobody's armbarred me from guard like ever. I don't think I got armbarred from guard. I didn't think that was a legitimate. Like everybody teaches it. You're
Right,
like,
right.
oh yeah, armbar from
It's a
guard.
white belt thing.
Yeah, and he armbarred me last year. It wasn't like
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah, he's a beast.
son of a.
Still works.
Yeah, holy crap. So yeah, I mean, when those basics, that's you build your whole game off of a good basic solid game. That was Carlson. That was the mantra. It's just this heavy top pressure, solid basic game.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Somebody smash. Well, look at Hodger Gracie.
Yeah.
And his game. Everybody could understand what he does.
Yes.
Nobody has to sit there and go, okay, so he's rolling, he's inverting right here.
Right.
And then he grabs the leg, and then, you look at it, you take somebody who has got a week of jiu-jitsu, and they go, oh, yeah, he passed the guard, then he mounted, and then he choked the shit out of him.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you go, okay.
Pretty simple.
That's the game. He
it.
did that to the best in the world.
Right, exactly. The best.
Yeah.
So it'd be really fascinating to see if if it's ever like, I mean, even Marcelo Garcia, who's what, three stripe black, he's still able.
Yeah.
I mean, he's young. He's not like out of the element of not being able to compete anymore at that level.
Could, right. I mean, he certainly could if he wanted to. Hey, you watch his videos and see him take on current world champs.
Right.
And what he does to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I mean, I know it's just like, we're like, they're like, we look at them and put them on that pedestal. We're just like, I just want to see them. But
Right.
then they're probably like, we've done it all.
Yeah.
We've done so much.
What do you have to gain?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not,
Yeah.
it's just,
Those guys
as
are
a
like,
fan,
I'm tired, man.
as a jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
fan, I would just love to be in the presence of them, like, fighting, because I feel like I kind of missed it, that whole coming up.
Megaton Diaz
Yes.
has competed in every Mungials since the inception.
Right.
As an adult.
Right.
Right. I mean, so he competes as an adult. He was at the Chicago Open, I think, last year.
He was.
Yeah, trying to get some points.
Yeah.
So he could compete again. So, I mean, he doesn't
So how does the points work?
You know what? I'm not too sure because they instituted it after I competed a crap ton, and then I, just as I brown belt, I'll compete still, but I'm not like Aaron. I'm not doing it every weekend. But you have to get a certain amount of points. You have to take first, second, or third. You have to run up a certain amount of points in order to compete in in the big tournaments, or in the world specifically. And so so a lot of these top black belts are like, all right, I got to get some points. I got to, what tournament could I go into where I'm just going to, run through people.
Right.
And so that's why you're getting these people at Chicago Open or the Indianapolis Open or, Texas. They're just looking around and trying to find places they could compete so they could get their points so they could could compete.
Right.
And so, Megaton, man, last year at the Worlds, I forget what throw he did, but it was freaking beautiful. Dude's in the air. It looked like a Olympic judo poster. Yeah. And he's like, no, boom, hits the ground right to an hour bar. Finishes him in like that.
Wow.
And this dude's still top of his game, and he's about my age. Maybe a little younger, but
love it.
Yeah, amazing.
It's so fantastic.
Yeah,
to see that.
so cool.
Yeah, he was at the Chicago Open. He was talking to Andre.
Yeah.
And I was standing sitting across the aisle from him. But yeah, it's cool to see guys like that still compete.
Still competing.
Yeah, I think you fought John Gutta from Tipping Point.
Okay.
In Iowa. Yeah.
How'd he do?
I think John won.
Did John win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And IBJJF's not giving him any leeway. I mean, they're not just saying, hey, yeah, you're Megaton Diaz, come on in. He's got to still do what he's got to do. So, he's, you got to give him a lot of credit,
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean.
So that's kind of a look into the past. And, Chris Howder was here maybe last year, maybe a year and a half ago. And that dude's still rolling every day. Still teaching, still rolling. He's one of the Dirty Dozen, So he's got one of the first 12 non-Brazilian black belts, and he's still rolling every day.
Yeah, what was the name of that documentary they made, The Dirty Dozen?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Larry?
I remember it. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it was the first 12.
Yeah.
I don't think they got in touch with all of them, but they had most of them there.
You know what's cool about that? Is that we're at the beginning of a martial art. Like, I was training martial arts when these guys got promoted. It was in the mid-'90s.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago
No.
that the first 12 non-Brazilian black belts got promoted to black belt. When you think about it, you're like we know and have talked to the founder of the art's grandson.
Yeah.
Carlson Jr., right? So, I mean, when you think about that, what other martial art can you say that about?
No. Right.
Some freaking nun in China who's,
some monk, right?
Thai boxing or doing Shaolin martial arts, this 600 years ago.
Right.
We're here at that. When you think about that, and you think about the advancement in jiu-jitsu in the last 10 years, what's it going to be like in another 10 years? What's it going to be like when your guys' kids who've been training since they were 8 years old or 9 years old or even younger, get to be adults, get to be black belts.
Yeah.
How crazy is that shit?
Yeah, what's the game going to look like?
Yeah, floating in the air.
Right. Are we going to be those old men? Those kids in their barren bolos.
Damn kids.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how I feel sometimes, man.
God.
Not a barren bolo guy, Larry?
You know what? I pulled it off on a blue belt a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, bet you didn't think I had that in me, huh? I'll invert every once in a while.
Yeah.
Depending on who I'm rolling with, every once in a while I'll invert.
Yeah.
But my one of my favorite memories, you'll get a kick out of this. Ryan Salisbury. I have a pretty decent spider guard game.
Okay.
So I got Ryan in spider guard. He stands up, and I fucking lift him up for a monkey flip. And then I get him up in the air. I've got my feet on his hips, and I'm like, yeah, this is not going to end well.
No, helicopter armbar.
I kind of like let him back down. But I was so proud of myself that I was actually able to get him off.
Get him up, yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny. I mean, and I thought that my vision was that cartoon of the dude getting, like run over by the steamroller. He's flat. That was going to be the vision of, hey, where's Larry? He was here a little bit before.
He's now the logo on the mat.
He's a decal on the mat.
He is a big dude.
Yeah.
He is a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So no competition coming up for you anytime soon.
You know what? I think I'll probably. I've wanted to do the pans, but I just with all the with the injuries, I'm just trying to get it back together, and for sure I'll do the Masters Worlds next year, and I'll probably do the Chicago Opens just as prep for that. So,
right.
But in terms of anything else, probably not.
Do they normally have Masters Worlds and Chicago Open close like this? Is that normal?
Yeah,
like
it's
the time is it's always like
it's
that.
It's normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you'll have the Winter Open, and then you'll have the Summer Open, and then usually after that, so usually it's just kind of a warm up for the Masters.
Right.
So
exciting times.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a great time.
Yeah, I'm excited for this acai too.
That's really good.
That's what everyone brags about.
Yeah, really, you could buy it here.
Oh, the same?
Yeah,
like that they have.
You buy it at like most grocery stores.
Special place. I thought it's not.
They mash it up.
They mash it up and
then they throw
it
bananas.
Yeah,
it tastes great because you're sitting in the freaking gym all day or the venue all day, and you're like, oh god, I got to get something.
Do they assign? Do you get assigned seats? No, you just sit where it's just open seating. Wherever
you get. I think you get like a. You get like a wristband, or you get something, some sort of way they identify you, and you can walk in and out whenever you want.
I see.
It's in this. It's in a pretty big, pretty large convention center.
Yeah, Las Vegas Convention Center. Yeah.
And so it's all open space, and all the gi manufacturers usually have a booth, so that's pretty cool. They have all the magazines. They have T-shirts from other tournaments or older tournaments.
Is that right?
Yeah, they do a great job with it. I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was a great time, and it was just so cool, just warming up on the mats and having all these stars rolling around.
Right.
So you can warm up on the actual mat.
No, they have a warm-up mat.
Oh, they have like because the Chicago Open they didn't have that.
No. Yeah,
what's up with that? They like concrete. I'm like,
that's
what?
not good.
What's up? Why did they do that?
I don't know. They should. On every tournament, they should have a warm-up mat.
Right. They had us on the concrete, like jumping up and down. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, but I'm just saying I saw people jumping up and down on concrete. Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of weird.
I've done shit where I've gone outside and rolled on the grass just to get some contact,
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want the first contact that you have with a human being to be, slap hands, go.
Yeah.
So.
I know when you put this in the context of a street fight, you don't have that. I think... what was the MMA fighter that says he doesn't like to warm up? Frank Mir. Didn't he say that he doesn't like to warm up because it's not real, like a street fight? And people are like, dude, you're going to an MMA fight. You're not street fighting.
Not a street fight.
So warm the fuck up, buddy.
Warm
you know
up.
what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. You can't apply everything to like, if it's not street.
Right.
But
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so at the Worlds, they actually have a huge warm-up area.
Warm-up,
and so me and Andre Gaval can be next to each other warming up.
You can just,
you could
go
be there
up to, just ask him to roll.
Just ask him to roll?
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be fine with it.
Can you smash me real quick?
Yeah, would it be okay?
Can you destroy my life?
Grappler, you might know me. Grappler Union.
Grappler Union, yeah. You got it.
Oh yeah, come on over.
Yeah, Cito tries to buy a 10-minute private off Andre Galbao.
But there's it's pretty cool. Lucas Latte was there. These guys all compete there, and I don't know. I guess I expected it, but I didn't really expect it. I didn't expect the level of competition to be what it was, and to see just like a dude, black belt dude, like me. I'm not like nobody knows who the fuck I am. Go against Lovato, and Lovato's a beast, man. When you see him, he's like a V,
right,
and he's got like shoulders that are huge, and then he wears like size 2 black belt and it's hanging out, and he's just ripped. His forehead has muscles, and then you got just a dude black belt, an Iowa BJJ or whatever. And this guy's like, I'm coming for you. But the good thing about it is that guys aren't crazy. Like when you compete, everybody's like giving hugs and they're like, oh man, awesome job. It's not like you see at some tournaments or local tournaments where dudes are slapping the mat when they lose and getting all upset. Yeah. Everybody's just like really friendly. It's a really great vibe. It's a great vibe. Yeah. You guys are going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope it is. I mean, I'd have never seen it at any terms where people slap the mat or get crazy.
Really?
I've never seen it. I mean, it might happen, but I'm just not paying attention to that.
Or they'll give like a sore loser like handshake to the guy and just like walk right off.
Yeah.
Not shake the ref's hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get there, everybody like hugs each other afterwards. They raise their hand up. You know, it was awesome.
Fuck yeah, you're in Vegas, man.
Yeah, right.
What do you got to be upset about?
Yeah.
Doing jiu-jitsu in Vegas.
Yeah.
Awesome. But it's going to be hot. It's going to be a little hot down there, I think.
You know what?
That's what pools are for, Zito.
Yeah, right.
No, I know. But just from the Airbnb to the Las Vegas Convention Center, it's going to be like we can't walk that. Even though it says it's 2 blocks away.
You just Uber it.
Yeah, Uber it.
I Ubered from the airport to the hotel. Yeah. I was in the hotel right next to the convention center, so you just walk right through.
Oh, okay.
It was freaking awesome. It was cheap, too. It wasn't that expensive. It was a nice hotel. And
oh, yeah?
Yeah, we just walk over there, and they got the RIP monorail right there. You could jump on that and go right downtown. So,
how far is the In and Out from the Las Vegas Convention Center?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's what I'm really concerned about.
Yeah,
I gotta Google that.
We're west.
Well, dude, I'm going on Friday, so I can eat In and Out.
That's gonna be the celebratory meal.
That's gonna be. I don't know if it's celebratory, but it's gonna be definitely a meal. Whether it's gonna dry up my tears or.
All those buffets in Vegas, though.
Buffets,
yeah,
come on, bro.
The In and Out
buffet, really?
Yes.
No way, dude.
Not Old Country Buffet in a strip mall here in Illinois, but like
I've been to Vegas and I've had the buffet, and I'd rather not.
Okay. Are you gonna bring a blender just in case you need to? Drink your food through the wire jaw.
Oh, God.
Oh man!
No.
Can you imagine?
No, that would be terrible. Do you wear a mouthpiece?
No,
either do I.
Yeah, I don't wear a
Paul?
mouthpiece.
Yeah, I don't wear a mouthpiece. Gosh, sometimes I think, fuck, I should wear a mouthpiece. Yeah. But then it's like,
dude, when I go back, I'm going to be wearing fucking goggles.
I know you're going to need to wear those fucking kids, man.
Yeah, dude, you're going to have to wear that plastic thing that those basketball players wear.
That is so. Is that weird, creepy looking, isn't it?
Dude, they make like. So, I went online the other day to buy some headgear, some wrestler headgear. Because I have like some swelling.
Wait, what? Come on, seriously? What are you talking about, Paul? What is this?
I got a little swelling going on. No, I'm not like...
You are a fluffer.
Oh, he is. He is. It's coming out, Paul. Tell us. You make fun of me for wearing headgear.
You wear headgear?
I used to.
Oh, Jesus.
Now I have cauliflower ear, so it's all good.
You don't care anymore?
I don't care anymore.
No, I make fun of you for draining it.
I drained it. It hurt. I had to drain it.
No, I'm not going to... Like, if I get it, but I want to be able to, like, continue to train hard without it blowing up every class.
So
you know what I mean?
Then.
Yeah.
Every day.
No, I'm not doing that.
And it won't... Come on. So you wear headgear?
So anyway, I went on, and I was just, like, looking through, and there's a face thing that, like, you can also buy for someone who, like... breaks their nose.
In wrestling, they use that all the time.
Yeah, it's a wrestling thing.
What's like a helmet? What are you talking about?
No, it's a face mask. It's like Freddie Krueger or whatever.
Or like the hockey one?
The hockey one.
It looks
Jason?
Like yeah, Jason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks funky.
Like
it's
That's
so
a
weird
thing for you, Larry.
I'm thinking about it. I might just break it down to goggles.
Yeah, hang on.
That'd be a good look for me.
Every time a white belt.
Maybe I could put the ear protection on and goggles.
Right. Every time you got to roll with a white belt, just throw that mask on.
Some white belts, they do get a little spastic.
Yeah.
It's always, I'm always like, I don't want to roll with a white belt. Like when I first like for open mat, I'm like, I gotta stay away from like give me a purple, give me a brown. Let's keep it chill, get warmed up. But that white belt roll, that first roll, you're like, oh shit. Although I did go again. One of our open mats, Kyle called me out first. Kyle's one of our brown belts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just got there. I just got on the mat, and it's open mat, and he's like, "Okay, you want to go?" And he's already rolled a few times, all sweaty, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man, no problem." Yeah, and he just like put it on me. I'm like, "Dude, I'm not even like 100% warm. You're just like, going at it. Stop, close your." He's like, "Don't put your knees together." I'm like, "All right, dude, let me warm up a little bit."
Right.
But that was an interesting roll. But he's fun.
So a funny story about cauliflower ear. So my training partner, probably the most underrated jiu-jitsu dude in Chicago. Nobody knows who he is, but his name is Blaine Woods. He's badass, man. I mean, he's really, really good. And actually rolled with world champion. I won't say who it was, but kind of, Carlson was timing it, and he held this guy. This guy wasn't able to pass Blaine's guard, and Carlson, it was supposed to be like a 5-minute round, and it was going 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and finally the guy passed Blaine's guard and tapped him. But he was able to hold a world champion off for that long. Wow. So he's underrated. He's a great guy. Blaine and I went to the Arnolds years and years ago. I don't even remember how long it was. Years ago. And Blaine and I go there to the Arnolds, and we were dry. We were cutting weight. And so the cool thing about that is you don't have to stop to go to the bathroom because you have no water. And we get there. This is a 2-part story. So we get to the Arnolds, and we go to the wrong place for the weigh-in. And they direct us to this hotel, and they go, "Oh, yeah, a bus gets there." So we had left all our stuff for rehydration in the car, and we get on the bus, and we get there, and we can't even buy a bottle of water after we weigh in. There's no place, nothing we could do. So we get on the bus, and we're dying. I mean, literally, we're dying. We're like, "Oh God, we need," because we were. You're fantasizing about drinking that bottle after you get off the scale. You're like, "I get off the scale, oh yeah." And we didn't have access to it. They didn't have a fucking drinking fountain.
What?
Yeah, the drinking fountain was broken in the hotel.
Oh, what?
So we get out, and we
go to the bathroom and just like open the faucet.
Dude, we get off the bus. We just wanted to get back to our stuff.
Yeah.
We get off the bus, and there's a Ted Montana's there. You ever eaten there?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
What's
it's a
it
great
called?
place. Ted Montana's.
Ted
they
Montana.
serve buffalo. And
Okay.
so we go, "Hey, you want to go there?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's go there." So we end up going there. We're drinking like iced tea,
Yeah.
We were so sick after that. But that night, like he'd been dealing with cauliflower ear, and I'm just laying on the bed going, I'm moaning, and he's in the bathroom with his syringe, just jabbing himself in the ear, pulling out full syringes of blood because we're gonna compete the next day.
Jeez.
And he wakes up in the morning, full syringe of blood.
Really?
Do not do the chip clip on the ear thing. Didn't turn out good, dude.
Oh, really?
Had a chip clip, put it on his ear to try and compress it.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's got a chip clip ear now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good looking. So
Like potato chip, Paul.
No,
Yeah.
I know the chip clip, but like it's
Yeah.
got like the indent of like the actual
not
clip.
really, but
Okay.
it didn't form well.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
So let's see. Let me see. Take that off. Let me see. Where's it? Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I can't
look
even
at
see
you.
anything.
It's barely.
Take it easy, Larry.
It's like a little baby.
It's a little red.
It's a little red.
Right.
It's a little chapped.
Here's the thing. If I get cauliflower ear, I want the cool cauliflower ear where it's like up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not down here, right? You remember when we went to Kentucky to that camp and Sean Bollinger was teaching? Sean Bollinger had he's a black belt under Eddie Bravo.
His second black belt. Yeah.
Yeah. He had the most disgusting cauliflower ear I've ever
It was on his lobe.
It was like a golf ball was in his lobe.
It's nice.
Exactly.
So weird.
That's
It just fell
exactly what
down.
that
Yes.
looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
So I don't want that. That
no.
scares me. So like when I get this like development down low here,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not fucking around with that.
Yeah.
If I get some up top shit,
You're okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
because that's what mine's. Yeah. so
Yeah,
mine-
yours
that's
is fine. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
How about the dudes who can't wear earbuds because
Like Randy
they're
Couture.
so closed up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's bad.
that's bad because that's 100% has to affect your hearing.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
It's got it
Yeah,
because
right.
the
Sure.
ear is designed to take in right.
Yeah. That's
That's
exactly
gonna-
what it's for.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
But like this top one, like I have, that doesn't.
Fucking with
That's-
your acoustics.
I've actually been really lucky. I haven't gotten it. I got a little bit on my left ear.
Okay.
And in my right ear, I got some cauliflower. It was actually bad. It blew up, and I just drained it every night. And I didn't do anything else. I didn't go to a doctor or anything.
Right.
Drained it, trained, didn't wear
Headgear.
Trained, blew up, drained it, and then after about a week or so of that, it just stopped and it looks normal. So
Yeah. Well, just do that, Paul.
I'll do that.
Drain. Milos has those. He does it all the time.
All right.
I mean, come on, man.
I don't think there's anything like really to drain. It's just starting to.
It's starting to hurt though, right?
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
hurts.
I mean, it's been
It's
hurting.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember those
I
days.
just don't want that Sean Bollinger fucking, because he had to have surgery to
He
get
had
rid of that.
surgery,
Yeah,
yeah.
It was like so uncool that like you have to get rid of it.
Yeah,
you know?
he had to actually have surgery to take that off.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I was rolling with a dude who a good friend of mine, great dude, and he was wearing headgear. I got him in side control, and I took his headgear off. I blocked his arms, and I just like click, took it off, threw it to the side,
Start flicking his ears.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's just one of the things. I mean, I don't mind it anymore. I don't think about it too much. Doesn't really.
You never think about it until your shit starts to really fucking hurt.
I guess
and then you
so.
start
Or
thinking
until
about
somebody starts talking to you like you're I don't want to say the word, but special, special needs.
Right.
Like, you're like, are you okay? Can I get you anything, honey? Hey, I'm a grappler. Okay.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure you are. I bet you're the best little grappler.
you're the best little grappler around. So cute.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to get a picture of you in headgear, Paul.
I mean, it might happen. It might never happen.
I think it's gonna happen.
Just in case.
Is it a
type of
nice
thing.
pink color?
Of course.
Yeah,
You got it.
You got
You
to
gotta
go
go.
with that. If you're gonna do it, you might as well go all out.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Go all in, man.
If you're gonna be a puss, just go full puss.
You're walking with a singlet and some headgear. Go all the way, man.
So I ran a narcotics. I don't even know if I can say this, but fuck it. Well, I'll say
Do it.
I ran a narcotics unit in Lake County, and my guys, they're funny ass guys, and they would have challenges. So one month it was like buy dope. They're all undercovers. Buy dope without a shirt on. So everybody had to buy dope, and then they take a picture of themselves without their shirt on. So they had to buy it.
Okay.
So one guy goes and he wears a wrestling singlet, headgear, and he sits in the back seat of the car, and his partner goes and buys dope from, they go in, they pull in, and they buy dope, and the guy's like, what the fuck is that? And he goes, hey man, it's my brother, he's special needs. And the guy in the back's going, he's wearing a wrestling singlet
That is so funny.
and headgear. What the fuck? And they bought dope from a dude.
Of course.
And because who would believe that you were a cop,
Right,
right?
right.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was really.
Yeah, if I was the drug dealer, I'd be like, now I know you're not a cop.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is
Sure
way
you're
too
not a
fucking
cop.
crazy.
After they buy that, do they arrest them right away, or they kind of
Nah,
sustain?
we usually buy 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Just to show that they're actually, it wasn't like an accident. Like,
I see.
I just happen to have some dope
To build a case, right?
And and I just, for one time I needed to get an Apple Watch, so I only did it once. So to show that.
So
that's
when
what
you
they
say
do.
dope, are you saying pot or heroin?
No, we usually didn't. We didn't.
nobody
If
cares
we're
about
buying
pot,
dope,
right?
pot,
Yeah.
we're buying like
Right.
bushels.
Yeah.
So it was coke,
I mean-
heroin, crack, stuff like that.
There's a generation of, I think it's the generation before you, but where like weed was dope. Like, oh, he's smoking dope, and and it's
Yeah.
and then it became like dope
Yeah.
is like smack,
Yeah.
heroin or whatever.
Yeah,
So
it was like
I
the
always have-
50s. The 50s, they had that. Like
yeah,
that,
because my parents would say that.
Yeah.
Is he smoking dope?
They're probably the same age as your parents. How old are your parents?
No, they're 65 is my dad.
Yeah.
And my mom passed away last year, and she would have been 63.
Okay. So your dad probably kicked my ass in high school or something.
Well, he grew up in
He's
Ireland,
about
so
10 years.
definitely not.
Yeah, probably not. Probably kicked somebody's ass in Ireland.
Probably.
Put up your dukes. Like the Lucky Charms guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but the dope thing is an interesting like formal language. Now it's becoming legal, right? Marijuana is becoming legal.
yeah.
It's not even like a thing anymore. People don't really think about
I mean,
it.
you guys would know you train with Eddie Bravo. So
Yeah,
you got the whole thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I don't. Right now, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit anymore, I don't think.
I mean, there's so many heroin overdoses now. It's freaking
Is it really?
insane. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. The heroin, the fentanyl, there's a lot of
What's
lot of
fentanyl?
bad stuff. Fentanyl is a they mix it with heroin, and it's almost immediately lethal for a lot of people.
What's the point of that then?
Just to cut the dope, to cut the heroin, to make it.
But if you're killing the person,
well,
they don't come
they
back.
Don't care.
But they don't come
Yeah.
back and buy. It's
They
not
don't
a
care.
repeat buyer.
They don't care.
Really?
Yeah, dealers don't. They're not this like quality control. Like,
Right.
Oh, what? Wait. Oh, you didn't like my dope? Okay.
But if it's killing them, then they're not
Yeah,
very
they
good
don't
businessmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it depends how they cut it. I'm sure, and then
Yeah.
if someone is like new to fentanyl,
Yeah.
they probably don't know how much to inject. They're probably injecting their normal amount, right?
Well, that's
And this is
exactly what happens,
Fentanyl
yeah.
is supposed to be like 50 times stronger than
That's
morphine.
stronger.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's just people just don't know what they're doing.
So we had people, driving home from. They would a lot of people go to the west side of Chicago. They would pick up their dope, and it wasn't that they weren't repeat customers. It's just that it wasn't like your local weed dealer where he knows everybody. He's like, hey, it's Joe, the local weed dealer. Hey, come on over.
Right.
This is like they're driving by and stopping their car and they're passing money out, and the guy, gives them a jab or gives them his heroin, and he drives away. Maybe does it down the block or while he's driving, and then these guys will just die in their car.
Wow.
So yeah, it's bad. There's a lot of that going on. A lot of former athletes, people who get an injury, start taking opiates, and then their doctor cuts them off, and they're addicted. So the thing that's going to feed that addiction is heroin. So that's sad. A lot of kids get into it these days.
Really?
Yeah, high school kids and stuff.
Lollapalooza's going on right now. A lot of stuff in Lollapalooza. Is there a lot of
Oh
drugs?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Stuff
But
going
that'll
on
be
down there?
like
Yeah,
Molly, and
weed,
stuff like that.
Molly,
Oh,
shrooms,
yeah, shrooms, stuff like that.
acid.
Yeah, you'll get your heroin in there too.
Yeah.
Man, I just couldn't imagine, like needles. Like,
I know.
Well, you can
That's
snort it
weird.
too.
oh, you could.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Learn
Keep
something
up.
new. I guess I got. I
Keep
don't
up with the drug culture.
Fuck. I don't know what's going on out there.
Yeah.
What are these kids doing?
These crazy kids. See, I got you guys all being all mad. Crazy kids.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm old. Paul likes to pretend that he's old, but I was rolling the other day with some kid. He's like, "Man, I'm so old." I'm like, "Wait a minute here. How old are you?" He was 31. I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
Dude, I taunt dudes like that. Like when I roll with them, I'm like, "How old's your dad?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, he's 53." I go, "I'm older than your dad. I'm kicking your ass." So as I roll with people, I just taunt him. Anytime somebody goes, "Oh God, I'm so old," I'm like, "Really? Really? You're feeling old?" I graduated high school in 1980.
That's awesome. Paul.
Yeah.
Paul likes to get me in my last roll, and he's like, why can't you go anymore? Fuck, Paul. I just got worked by Piehi for fucking 6 minutes.
Don't tell me that your lineup is easier than my lineup.
100% not easier than your lineup.
So
But,
do you guys call up? How do you guys work your roles? Like how do you
usually,
choose?
Andre will usually dictates to us
Okay.
who he wants us to roll because we're
Okay.
preparing for the Open and
Yeah.
Worlds. So he'll be like, okay, Anthony, you roll with that, and then Paul, you get him. And then
So it's not just freedom of choice.
not
type of
initially,
situation.
no. And
Yeah.
then after the first 4 to 5 rolls, then he'll like, okay, well, whoever you want,
Okay.
and he'll like
Yeah,
step
he'll
off
assign
that.
like the first three. Maybe like he
Yeah.
definitely wants to see you work with this guy. He definitely
Yeah.
wants to see you work with that guy.
Yeah,
And then
because he'll
after
coach
that-
you on those matches.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, afterwards, then Paul's like, come on, let's get our last one. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And Paul's not an easy roll.
Yeah.
He's big, he's strong, and he's
Sure.
young, and he puts it on me because
Yeah.
he knows my game, and
Plus,
he knows
it
how
could
to.
be a good story for the podcast.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And he just, and I'm like,
Speaking of a good story for the podcast,
what?
have you noticed that you still fall back for that ankle lock?
Aaron, the other day, when I was rolling with him on Saturday,
Yeah.
he's like, I did it to him. He's like, 2 points. I'm like, fuck.
Yep.
You stop falling back for it.
Oh, you're falling back
You
for an
notice-
ankle lock, and it's sweeping yourself. Awesome.
You notice I'm a little rougher on you every time you do that than
Yeah.
versus when you just try and pass or something.
That's funny.
I don't know. I mean,
what triggers you to go for it?
laziness.
What situation triggers you to go for it?
Well, you know what is that because it's just bad habit, because doing no-gi, I can break off a straight ankle lock pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Just because when I'm going against bigger guys, I'm always on the bottom. So my thing is my legs is my equalizer.
Yeah.
So I can attach ashi, hold on to that, and just rip off straight ankle lock pretty viciously. I mean, if I go on it, you're going to tap.
Yeah, it's good.
But in the gi, against a guy Paul size, it's not. And if he's not like, I just can't get it on him that quick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fabric there.
But I mean, in terms of like you sitting back for it, what's the situation? Are you like in an guard? Or?
No, he'll work a little spider guard and go De La Hiva.
Yeah.
And then once he gets that De La Hiva hook in, that other leg is sitting there, and I'll go for it there because he's got me kind of stuck in that De La Hiva guard.
Yeah.
And
so he's pushing on your thigh with the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it. The leg's right there. I'll just go for it. And then
and then he boots and stands
right up.
And then passes your guard.
2 points.
Every time.
And crushes you.
Yeah. So I've got to get out of his De La Hiva better. But he's 5'11". I can't get away as easier as, so I just gotta keep working at it and get him when I'm a little fresher. It'll work a little.
Are you working the single leg X?
I do, but I'm not having a lot of success with it with the higher ranking belts. They kind of step back, and then they come in. So it's hard for me to get it off.
How about working the single leg X to like X guard? Like just working that transition from single leg X to X, single leg X to X. So the second somebody pulls that foot, that heel, you just go right into X.
Right, and I go for this. Then I have to try to go for the sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working it. It's just I don't want to be on my back. I've got to when I sweep them, I've got to come up right away. Yeah. But I'm really trying to just work to pass the guard and stay on my feet. Yeah. Like once I get you down, I want to not get into the De La Hiva, not get in the spider guard where I'm like trying to keep battling those hooks and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just changing my game up.
That's the fun of it.
It's the fun of it. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's challenging every time. That's what keeps me coming back. It's not easy.
Like getting going against somebody and they're like, oh man, they got a really good whatever.
Right.
And then you're researching it like, I'm not going to let them do that again. Right. What can I do? That's the fun about jujitsu. Is that
it is?
It's and then puzzle, when you pull it off and you're like, whoa, yes. I mean, my buddy who's the Megaton Diaz black belt, Cecil Birch, I talk to him all the time, and I'm like, hey, this guy, he's really good with the lapel guard. What do you guys do? I mean, how do you get out of it? So we talk it back and forth and kind of figure out. He's like, oh, we're doing the step over thing. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Film it and show, send it to me. So that's how I try to tap my network of people and try to figure out what's going on,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I just need more time. I just want more time on the mat. That's it.
Yeah.
Let me get 3 days in. It's just like I never want to take a day off. I have to take days off. I take 2 days off a week just because I just need recovery. Yeah. But I really wish I didn't have to.
When I first retired from the state police, so 26 3/4 years, state trooper. I was in investigations for most of the time, and I had to burn some time. So I had like three weeks or a month. And I'm like, professional athlete, baby. Here I go. I retired when I was 51 years old. Uh-huh. Yeah, there's no professional athlete at 51 years old. There's a reason why guys aren't playing in the NBA. And
for sure.
I'm like after the first. I do 2 days on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but on like when I was going Monday, Tuesday, 2 days on Tuesday, going on Monday. Teaching on Wednesday, doing 2 days on Thursday, doing an open man on Friday, and then training on Saturdays. Like 2 weeks of that, I'm like crawling from my bed. Yeah. I can't sleep. I can't move. I'm like, okay, maybe I can't be a professional athlete.
Yeah. So you're a state trooper for that long.
Yeah.
I got pulled over. I didn't get pulled over. Let me rephrase this.
Whip my name out next time. Nobody knows me anymore.
It was odd. So I'm in the left lane.
Yeah.
And I'm driving and I'm doing about 75.
Yeah.
I looked down, I was doing 75.
Yeah.
And I have this big tire in the back of my Jeep that I can't see out my rear mirror. I have to use my side mirrors, right? So cruising along and I'm doing 75 and it's obviously I'm breaking the law, right?
Yeah.
I look in my mirror and I hear like like siren, like woo, woo, like he made a little like beep beep, and then like I was like, oh shit, I'm getting pulled over. I didn't realize it because I'm it's loud in my Jeep. I can't see him, so I'm like fuck. So I pull over. I pull to the left, the shoulder. Pull over, and I'm put my flashers on. My windows are down, and I'm just waiting for him to come up. He comes up, looks at me, goes, "What's going on?" And I had my license and my insurance card out. I hand it to him. He goes, "Oh wow, thanks." He was, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know. Weren't you pulling me over?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Let me explain the rules of the road here. So you're driving in the left lane, and when someone comes behind you, you need to move over and let them pass if they're right." I'm like, "Really?"
So you got a little driving lesson.
I got to drive.
You got
a
free driving lesson.
Like, really?
Yeah.
You couldn't just, like, it wasn't that crowded, the expressway, where we're like, you couldn't just go around me, bro? Like,
yeah.
you
No. He wanted to teach you a lesson.
Yeah. He, like, move the fuck over. Get out of the left lane.
Yeah.
It's the passing lane. Right. You're driving in the passing lane.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like, okay.
Dude, there were times.
Come on, man. Really?
You know, the thing about, I only worked the road for like three and a half years. And I went to investigate.
But he was very polite.
But when I worked the road, man, I mean, you know how there's times when you're sitting there in traffic and you're like, somebody passes you on the shoulder and you're like, oh God, that pisses me off. Yeah. Or somebody does something stupid.
Right.
Well, when you're a state trooper, you could like do something about it. You know, like you see that asshole who does that, and you're like, oh, cool. I was when I was working as after I retired from state police, I went to county sheriff's for 2 years, and so they gave me a covert squad car. It was a black, like Crown Vic or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. And I had sheriff's plates, and I had been driving for 20 years or 23 years with covert plates, like in a covert car. Nobody knew it was a cop car. So I was just like a civilian. I didn't care what was going on. I didn't, look for violations,
Right.
I call stuff in if it was, an emergency, but bottom line is I just went to work like you do.
Right.
And so now I'm in this car that has sheriff's plates. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm driving down to 26th Street and this guy passes on the shoulder, and I've got like 5 motorists looking at me like, are you going to do something? I'm like, I haven't done a traffic stop in 26 years, man. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't have a ticket book. So I get on the shoulder. I pull the guy over, and I'm just going to give him a lecture, right? I'm not going to. I can't do it. I can't write a ticket. So I walk up. He rolls the window down, and he goes, "Dude, I'm going to the hospital." I go, "Okay." He takes his his thermal, and he pulls the sleeve up, and it's like the Terminator. You could see his bones and muscles. He just completely ripped the skin off his forearm, and he shows it to me. I go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" That's what I said to the guy. I go, "When did you do this?" And he goes, "Last night." So he's probably drugged up on a motorcycle and skidded out.
Wow.
And I go, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm going to Loretta Hospital." I go, well, "You know what, dude? Get going. Right. Don't drive on the shoulder."
Right. God.
So that was my lesson. Yeah. And then he taught me a lesson, an anatomy lesson.
Yes.
Oh, that's how the forearm works.
Right. But could you do you have to when you do a traffic stop, are you calling in, telling people you're stopping over, or is that
yeah, I mean,
you have to call
when you're officially doing it, but when you were doing what I was doing, it was just basically just like I guess I got to do it for public relations.
Right. But isn't that kind of scary? Like that guy could be like,
you do it. I mean, you get used to it. Or you do it over and over again.
Do you ever have that them versus us feeling?
I didn't, because let's put it this way. It's pretty easy to get into that feeling because everybody you deal with is a jagoff.
Right.
So even you traffic stop.
Yeah.
Officer, I was speeding.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I was wearing my seatbelt as they click it in.
Right.
I had one guy, a surgeon, he's an eye surgeon or whatever. He says he's a surgeon. I go, really? What kind of surgeon are you? A plastic surgeon. I've got an emergency call. I got to get to. I go, come on, dude, please. So it's stuff like that. People lie to you all the time, and people are, and you're dealing with the worst in society. It's easy to get into that.
Sure.
That kind of, everybody's a shithead. But I always had friends outside of the job. I didn't, I didn't just hang out with just cops and just, so, I had friends outside of the job. I, have a good relationship with my wife. And so I never got into that, you know, and I did a lot of interview and interrogation. I taught interview and interrogation. And part of that is your ability to relate and talk to other people and empathize with other people. So, I find that that's usually a better way to go, is showing people respect and empathizing and, and trying to do the best you can to help.
Yeah.
I mean, all the cops I knew were good people. They weren't like, hey, I'm going to find me somebody to kill today. Certainly you had assholes, you know. But in general, most people did it because they wanted to help people. So, it's an interesting time to be a police officer. I'm not now, so that's cool, but it's an interesting time now.
Well, state troopers seem to be the nicer. Like, they seem to be very polite.
Yeah, they put you through 6 months of an academy where you live in Springfield and you live essentially in a military lifestyle for 6 months.
Oh, really?
And every person, you're in the hallway in a line, and every person you pass, you have to say, "Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir." So people are walking down the hallway and there's 50 cadets and they're going to hear "good morning" 50 times.
Wow.
So, so they just drill that into you.
Because they are. I mean, why don't they do that? Why come like state troopers have that they're always so polite. But regular officers kind of sometimes can be. I'm
not going to say that there's an elite thing, but when I tested for state police, they 7,000 people tested and they took 50 people.
Wow.
So
damn.
It's a pretty hard job to get. And then once you're in, you go through a 6-month academy. Most local police departments have a 3-month academy, or 200 an hour or 300 an hour, I think. So, but State Police Academy is long, and they use that to indoctrinate you essentially. So you go through 26 weeks of training, and then you go out and you have a field training officer. So it's pretty extensive training.
I wonder why they just can't, because of the demand of regular police officers, they just can't do that type of 6 month and that type of thing.
I think, they just want to crank people out and get them on the street, I think. I don't know. I mean,
right.
Yeah. But, for whatever reason, state police in most states are a little, they kind of roll differently.
Yeah.
So.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've been going for almost 2.5 hours here, but I want to end the podcast on a positive note. Larry, you got stabbed on the job one time?
Little cut. little cut.
Paper cut?
They were talking about that earlier. We said that, that the adrenaline and everything, people were talking about, a knife is not a good person stopper. Neither is a handgun. This handgun trainer, John Farnham, says, well, what do people do after they've been shot with a handgun? Pretty much whatever they were doing before they got shot with a handgun. So a knife is even less. It doesn't have any kinetic energy. So, you just don't know. And because you're adrenalized and, you take a cut, and you probably see it, but it's right. You take a cut and 9 times out of 10, people have to say, "Oh, hey, dude, you're bleeding." And you're like, "Oh, yeah, holy crap." So, yeah. So
you got in a knife fight?
No, I didn't have a knife.
Oh,
he did.
So he had a knife.
A knife fight is you have one, I have one.
Right.
Getting stabbed is.
So you just got stabbed. It was on the job.
Yeah.
Wow. How did it go down?
Just trying to arrest somebody. Pulled out. It was a kitchen knife. And
a kitchen knife?
Either a kitchen knife or a buck knife. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And, just hit me in the arm. Didn't even know it.
You didn't even know he had the knife?
Didn't know he had no clue.
So you went to go arrest him?
Even when he was down and handcuffed, I had no clue he had a knife. Found it later on, kind of by a bush, kicked over there.
Right.
But, so.
That could have been in your neck.
Yeah, you never know.
Fuck.
Yeah, crazy stuff. So, good times, man.
Good times. You got anything you want to promote, Larry?
You know what? I mean, my buddy Paul Sharp, his SPG gym is going to be opening up in Elgin in September. So, cool. For anybody who's out in those suburbs.
Get in touch with him, and we'll gladly have him on the podcast.
Oh, awesome! He is a amusing dude.
Okay.
He's huge. Been there, done that with fought with Couture and Munson and all those guys back in the day. He's got a ton of history and great jiu-jitsu. Power lifter, and he's a great dude. You believe me, you guys would love them. So good, cool. So promoting that and nothing, Carlson Gracie Aurora. You know, if you're out in that area, please come by. We'd love to have you train with us.
Do you guys have open mats out there?
Yeah, I run them every once in a while. We don't have a regular open mat. I always do like the holiday open mat.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is I work as the training coordinator at the range at 355.
Okay.
It's right off of Boughton and 355, so just north of I-55 and 355.
Right by the IKEA?
Yeah, on the other side of the interstate.
Okay.
And it's a shooting range, brand new, just built, and gun store, and great guys, really comfortable, friendly atmosphere.
Sure.
And not like your old typical gun store where old dudes behind the counter are yelling at you, but just a really cool place. And hey, we'd love to have you guys out. You know, come out and shoot. Well, I'll bring guns for you, or we'll get guns out. You guys could shoot.
Paul, you got a Floyd card?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and even if you don't, as long as you're with me, you could shoot. So
yeah. And you teach conceal and carry courses.
I do.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I just got done teaching it over the weekend. Anthony Cruz, you know him from Carlson Gracie team.
That name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He took he took my concealed carry class, and I actually put together a class for Carlson guys.
Oh, did you? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll do it in October. So
okay.
Yeah, so please look us up. Look our classes up. I teach all the classes there, so love to have you. And it's firearms with a jiu-jitsu twist, with a side of jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So
are you in the gi?
No.
I don't know. Maybe you are.
Shut up, Cito.
Why not?
I wear it everywhere else.
Sure. Just saying. Kind of cool, right?
Yeah, when I got my black belt, I wore it, like to bed.
Of course.
Hey, honey, did you know I'm a black belt?
That is actually really good. Well, they got those pajamas now that are like gi pajamas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
Let me show you this real quick.
Go ahead.
So this is a gun belt, right? Ka-cha.
What?
Yeah, black and red.
Black and red.
Dude, you're a coral belt.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be like the end.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
Very nice.
So you got a knife on there?
I like that.
I
knife
do,
you got.
And a
Of course
gun?
He does.
I didn't carry.
Oh, yeah, okay.
In here because I didn't know if you guys were gonna puss out. Be scared.
Doesn't bother us.
Yeah,
I thought the fluffer might get scared.
The fluffer might get scared. Yeah.
Do you own? I have guns. Do you have guns?
I have a gun. It's not my gun,
It's not.
but it's in my house.
Right.
My brother-in-law,
Yeah.
he moved out here, and he's like, "Oh, can you hold the gun? Because I don't have a safe place to put it."
Yeah.
And it's been sitting in my house for years now.
Oh, I thought it was the guy who was coming at you with the axe. That dude's like, "Hold my gun, man."
Although my grandfather told me an interesting story today. Actually, he's got this gun that his father got, right? And this gun, apparently, how my great-grandfather retrieved it or was given it, it was involved in a murder. And back in the day, someone shot this guy on the street. The gun was on the ground. Another guy came and picked up from the neighborhood and then gave it to my great-grandfather to for whatever reason. I don't know. And then my great-grandfather kept this gun. It says police issue gun, revolver. I haven't seen it yet. And gave it to his son when, he was
There's a cold case homicide detective in Cicero right now. Or is it Cicero that you grew up?
No, this was in Taylor Street.
Oh man, there's a cold case homicide detective in Chicago going, holy shit.
Dude.
So yeah.
I'm
Solved
coming
a
for
huge
you.
murder.
So yeah. So my
Jimmy Hoffa.
so we're trying to so my grandfather is going to give this gun to his son.
Yeah.
And he just lives in Arizona. So he's like, how do I get the gun? You can't just ship it. UPS won't just ship the gun.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking well, you can't register it because it was involved in a homicide back in who knows, the 20s or whatever fuck year it was.
The 20s.
Right? So what do you do with it? How do you get it? You got to drive it to Arizona or whatever? It's weird, right?
Yeah, that is.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Dudes, this was a lot of fun.
This
Thanks,
was
Larry.
awesome,
Yeah,
man.
you guys are great.
You're great on mic, man.
Oh, thanks, brother.
It's really good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I hope we could train soon.
Yeah, we definitely have to.
Yeah,
we'll get
it'd
you
be
guys
fun.
out. You know what? Maybe we'll do a shooting and rolling.
There you go.
Yeah,
Have you guys come out? You shoot. We just cruise up 355 to 88, and then we'll go roll.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That does sound cool.
No, let's set it
Yeah.
up, man.
Let us know when your
That'd
eyes
be fun.
healed.
Yeah, 6 weeks, baby. 6 weeks. After you guys are done with Masters.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
Do you have
we'll
any,
have
are
you
you
guys
on
out.
social media at all?
Yeah.
Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I don't really try. Facebook,
Facebook.
Instagram.
People can find you on it?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And then I have a company, Point Driven Training, where the tactics thing, that's a Facebook
Oh, yeah.
group. too.
No website though?
No. Well, yeah, I think pointdriventraining.com. I don't really
Don't promote it too much.
promote it so much. Yeah.
That's all right.
Got too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well,
Thanks,
thanks
guys.
again,
Thanks
man.
for doing it.
All right, we'll see you guys. Bye.
Awesome.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You could follow us at shit. I'm too lively now.
This should be the commercial though. Where we're just
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please be sure to like us on our Facebook page. What?
it's like us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. No.
No, I had it right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please like us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. And all of our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. Say what?
Be sure to subscribe on that.
Yeah, subscribe to all that shit. You got to do another take, right? This episode of the Grappler Union Podcast is brought to you by BJJTs. Go to bjjts.com, enter the promo code Grappler Union, and save 10% off all your jiu-jitsu apparel. Go to bjjts.com today.